Hi, I'm Ray.
And I'm Veronica.
And welcome to the Chick Lit Book Club podcast,
where we read a romance novel and then we talk about it. Today we're talking about The Stopover by T.L. Swan.
Swans. Swansea.
Swan dive.
Swan. Yep, that's what this book took for me. Was a swan dive.
Well, sneak preview.
Spoiler alert.
We have feelings.
Guys. We have
do.
feelings.
We have feelings.
Yeah.
That must be shocking, considering
I know, right?
We have a podcast where we talk about our feelings for a solid 2 hours. Yeah.
Yes, but it's been exciting, and we had to take a little time off.
We did.
Would you like to address the elephant in the room? Like we're doing this just like we did one, before.
Yeah. So I had the just lovely pleasure of getting a special gift from Santa in the form of COVID.
He pulled that out of his sack for you.
I did read a lot of Santa erotica. Or
you did.
Santa novellas and shit.
But I'm so sorry, honey.
Yeah. I would say my most severe
I think it's
symptom,
a gift from Krampus. I don't know if it's
it is a gift
from
from Krampus. I mean, it's just fucking... It infuriated me. But that is what I wrote in emails to all of my clients, was that Santa gave me the gift of COVID for Christmas. And so therefore I was going to be out of the office. Of the metaphorical office. Yeah, it's... I got to tell you, I got my booster shot the week before I got COVID. I think probably, my husband got his booster a couple weeks before I did. Mm-hmm. So maybe it, had more time to build up antibodies and stuff. And that's why he ended up... I was the only one in my family that tested positive. Mm-hmm. It was during the shit show leading up to the week of Christmas where everyone in Cuyahoga County was completely fucking obliterated with COVID.
Right. And not a test could be found.
Not a test could be found.
Not a creature was stirring. Not a test could be found.
Correct. The brand new downtown testing center, wasn't downtown, it's at the clinic, main campus, was a fucking shit show. I mean, an absolute disaster. We tried that. It was awful. At any rate... I got to tell you, even vaccinated, that wasn't a picnic.
No.
It's still not a picnic.
No.
I've never... It's a weird sickness where, and again, I was fully vaccinated and boosted. I'm sure it was Omicron, but, the level of sickness that I had was unlike any other sickness that I've ever had. Because I've had bronchitis before, and I've had plenty of serious things happen to me, but that, I wasn't going to die. The vaccine did its job, right? It kept me out of the hospital. I did not need emergency services. I talked to my doctor, and I talked, to her office, and I also talked to the pediatrician's office. But I didn't need to go to the hospital. Right. I was, while uncomfortable and exhausted and very, very sad because I had to be isolated from my entire family over Christmas, I wasn't going to die. You know? I did not sleep well, and I was not in a good place. The brain fog is so fucking intense. I was shocked by that, because it wasn't until... It was actually a week after it, a week into my symptoms, that I woke up feeling more clarity. Yeah. And that's when I realized how foggy I had been the week before. And even my husband said, you were pretty slow, in your ability to communicate and in your cognition, you were slow. Yeah. And not that we were spending a copious amount of time together, because when we did, we were talking from 10 feet apart. And,
right.
Masked and via text, because I couldn't be around him. But it was, I was surprised by the things that have stuck with me. So Christmas Eve, it was a decent day outside because climate change. So we were let's go outside, all three of us, and we'll go, like, we have a creek that runs through the back of our property, and so there's like a little beach sort of there, and so my kid likes to go to the beach. We take the dog out there, and so like we skip rocks and just hang
headless
out.
Baby dolls out there.
Yeah,
like
I found a headless baby doll once. Just as you do. So we were like, yeah, let's do that. Like, we can go out. We can all be outside. Like, I'll still stay away from them and like wear a mask and stuff, but we can all be outside together. So we did that. And I was so fucking tired. Like, this is not a lengthy walk for us at all. This is 500 feet from our house. Okay. Not long. Like, plus getting around to like down to the beach. We're talking no more than, I don't know, 800 feet. Okay. Not far. And this is within a week of me being at CrossFit for the last time prior to getting COVID. I was so tired. I had to leave them early because I could not. I mean, A, there was nowhere to sit. And like, B, I was just like, you guys, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm going to literally fall over. I need to go lay down. And so I came back to the house. I didn't have keys, couldn't even get in. So I just like sat on the deck steps and like waited for them to come back.
No,
and then I went upstairs and took a 2-hour long nap. I literally walked into the room, into my COVID corner or whatever. I called it my New York apartment because it was about 120 square feet. There was no running water. And I had to share a kitchen and a bathroom with 2 other housemates. And it would have cost me a cool $1,500 a month. So I literally walked in, face planted the air mattress, and slept for 2 hours. And the other reason I woke up was because they like came to the doorway and they were like, "Hey, you okay in there?" Because I passed out. I mean, I have never been like that tired.
And they're weird symptoms too. They're like weird things that you would never suspect. Like, I never thought that, like, you know, my hair would fall out.
I've been told that is going to happen. So looking forward to that.
Yeah. I guess stock up on the biotin now. I mean, I guess like, you know, my hair's never been this. It's still not the same. And I've cut all my hair off and still like the back of my hair is like, is a mess. Yeah. I mean, there's just things that, and when I had it too, it was like, I remember standing in the backyard and it was hard to breathe. It hurt. My chest hurt to breathe. I mean, granted it was humid, but still like, I'm like, I know I'm overweight, but this is crazy. Like,
yeah. I mean, I had said, if I go from the basement of my house to the second floor, I am winded. I mean, like, I can't, I was shot. If I get up to, first of all, my heart is like pounding really hard and I have to sit the fuck down and like take deep breaths and calm my heart rate back to a normal level in order to get enough air. I mean, really. And I've never experienced anything like that before.
It's scary. It really is scary.
I mean, and there were nights when, the first few nights in particular, I was that's when I started to get like legitimately scared, was like I would lay down to go to bed. But like sleeping was hard because I would cough and wake up. And also I was so tired that I couldn't necessarily stay awake all day long. And so I would have like napped during the day. So then like your body's all fucked up because you've slept during the day and now like you're trying to make it go to sleep at night. So I would like stay up and watch Netflix movies and shit, like all the lights off, just laying there hoping I would get tired enough to go to sleep. And I remember laying down the first night and being like, why does my heart feel like it's going to pound out of my chest and I'm not even doing anything? Like I'm just laying here and I can feel like fluttering in my chest. And I said something to my husband about it, who has asthma, and he's like, I don't think it's actually a heart thing. I think it's a lung thing. Because he's like, I have experienced that many times because I have asthma. And it has not always been well managed, you know, because he's had it for so long that, like, back when he was a kid, they didn't have, like, the asthma medications they do now. So it was harder to manage asthma. So for him, he's like, I've felt that before, like, where it's, you feel like your heart's going to pound out of your chest, but it's more like you can't get enough air.
And I think part of
like
it is
your oxygen like flowing through.
And then you're stressed because you're not getting the air, and you're like, then you start to panic. Yeah. So like I just tried to switch positions, you know, but because I was trying to not focus on it because I knew that wouldn't help, you know. Now I'm gonna have a panic attack. I'm probably gonna pass out, you know, because I can't get enough air, and then I'm gonna have a panic attack because I'm not getting enough air, and then nobody's gonna know. I'm just gonna be passed out in the air mattress by myself. Oh God. Well, and that's so what I was told is, and it helped for me. And in case anybody out there is going to get COVID, like you want to, or gets it, and sleep on your stomach. They say the best way is to sleep on your chest because it opens, like it expands because that's what COVID is doing, is actually kind of like it's tightening up the actual like the muscles around the lungs. Mm-hmm. So it's constricting airflow. So that's when you lay in your chest and your stomach is you're already opening that up a little bit easier, a little bit wider, so that way the breathing's a little easier. You're
forcing your lungs to have to expand backwards so that they're not constricting too much.
Yeah.
I had also read, I remember like at the very beginning, I had read that at the beginning of like, at the beginning of the pandemic when we thought it was only going to be a few weeks and it would be fine.
Oh God. 2 years later.
2 fucking years later. I remember
not an end in sight.
Not an end in sight, guys. Really. I mean, Omicron is not fucking around. It's really not.
No, in fact,
it's
we're waiting.
Extraordinarily contagious.
I think the state of Ohio is at this point waiting to see what DeWine's going to say because it's cutting, it's slicing through Ohio.
Yeah, he's doing so great. This is a really excellent state.
But we're like the schools are crying at this point because like,
I mean, a lot of schools have already gone.
They're going to have to go virtual.
Gone virtual for the rest of the year because like they can't risk having kids in a room together like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't blame them.
Yeah.
I had also read that like in order to literally exercise your lungs and the muscles around your lungs, that you should practice deep breathing exercises. So like, breathe in for 4, hold it for 4, exhale for 4. Mm-hmm. And so I did do some of that, but mostly like whenever I would go outside to walk the dog, I would literally just like rip my mask off my face and just inhale as deeply as I possibly could. And it was cold. So it like felt so good to like inhale all of that cold air into my body, which was having a hard time regulating its temperature. Like just to be outside and like inhale that air because of course, like, it's cold. So like we didn't want to keep windows in the house open. And like I was on my own, isolated behind a door anyway. So it's not like, I wasn't close to my family at all, but it just that the air gets stale, like inside when you haven't. So it just felt good to be outside and breathing in cold air, basically.
Yeah, the weather's been interesting here. So
yeah, it's supposed to snow again tomorrow. It was like 50 today.
I know.
Ohio's great. Anyway, so that's what's been going on over here. That's why we did not. This was supposed to be released on December 28th, but obviously it did not. We were supposed to record on the 23rd, and I tested positive for COVID on like the 21st, and we were like, "So we're not recording."
Yeah, I was like,
I'm not going to be able.
Yeah, just no.
No, that would not. I mean, there would have been no way. I would have not been like equipped or cognizant enough to be able to do that. So anyway,
not like that. I'm mostly cognizant anytime. Anyhow, I mean, come on. That's why I said half the time I'm drunk. It's fine. Half the time it's like, who the hell? Like I said, when I leave this chair, I don't fucking remember a fucking word that comes out of my mouth, whether it be cogent or not.
Yeah, I really had to. You and I talked about this because, like, I finished this book last week thinking like we're gonna record this on Thursday, and then I finished it, and then I was like, fuck, I remember almost nothing because then of course COVID brain fog, and then I read like a bunch of novellas because I was like, whatever, like I don't really I was foggy, and so I didn't really know if I could retain enough information to like read a whole novel. So I was like, I'll read like 50-page novellas or whatever, so I did like
Santa
a couple
Claus.
I did a couple.
It was Santa Claus and his peppermint sperm.
Oh my God, that was so fucking weird. So weird. Anywho, so I read like a bunch of novellas. So then by the time we were going to record this tonight, I was like, shit, I don't remember anything.
I know. And it's really sad is I finished it a couple days ago, and then I still was like, I don't know.
I texted you earlier. I was like, do you even know what Emily looks like? Like.
Well, we'll get to it, but there was not a lot of description.
Right. I mean,
but besides what his penis looks like, that's about it. Which is fine.
It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's fine.
No, nothing wrong with that. But I'd like to at least know what his face looks like.
Right. I mean, we have like we'll read the one line description we have.
Yeah. It's like we need one of those characters, people to come in and do like the sketches.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The suspect, criminal sketches. Yeah.
Yes, I did. I needed like
he's got blue eyes.
He definitely has blue eyes. We read that. And dark hair. So I guess that's it.
That's about it. That's his character. No, he's got a character.
He does have a lot of character.
Hey.
Yeah.
Tell me something.
Honestly, God, like being able to be near my family again and squeeze the living crap out of them.
Yeah.
Because for 9 entire days, the only living being I got to like touch or cuddle is the dog. And let me tell you, she doesn't
that
get
text
good hugs.
you sent me was very funny. It's the only thing I'm allowed to touch in my house, and there's a picture of the dog, and I was like, oh.
The only breathing being I'm allowed to touch is the fucking dog. Who, love you, Winnie, but like you don't get very good hugs. In fact, you don't really like hugs. And right now you're fighting me on trimming your fucking dagger toenails. So.
Oh yeah, mine too. I have to go get bath, and I'm not bathing him because he does a Sheba scream, and it sounds like I'm sure the neighbors think I'm murdering him. They already think I'm a horrible mom as it is, I'm sure. Because they look at my backyard like, oh, look at all the holes. What a hillbilly. Awesome. So, yeah.
You have dogs. It just is what it is.
It
Ours
is what it is.
Likes to dig, too. It just,
I came out in the living room this morning, and he got a wooden spoon. I don't know how he got a wooden spoon. I don't know. But it was eaten.
Yep. That is no longer usable. We were cleaning up, like, the shelves and stuff and moving books upstairs and whatnot. And I just found, like, a bunch of them. I was like, let's get rid of, like, the baby books that you don't need anymore, right? Like, we know people who recently have babies. Let's please, like, get rid of this shit. You don't need it anymore. There were a couple that I was like, how did she even, like, I didn't even know she got a hold of this book and the spine is missing. Like, how did you even get this? I just, jackasses.
They're great.
I swear, puppies and babies are so cute, so we don't kill them. Right. I mean, like, that's why.
Right. Oh, yeah, 100%.
I'm certain of it. There's no possibly 100%. Other explanation for why they're so cute.
Yeah. Yeah, and then when they're quiet, you're like, why are they quiet?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What have they gotten into?
I know.
Yeah.
Ray?
Yeah.
Tell me something good.
I had a hard time with this one.
Fuck you, 2021.
Yeah. My first is seeing your face, your beautiful face.
Oh, God, I've missed you so much.
Me too. I missed you too. If I had to, it would be. I did some rewatches of some movies that I haven't watched in a while. I watched Beetlejuice, and that was amazing. God, it's fucking amazing. I rewatched Scrooged, and that's amazing
that movie
too.
Never gets old.
I sat there laughing my balls off, and I don't have balls. And I sat and it was very funny. I don't remember it being as funny as it was. Like I was too young to, I think, get most of the jokes.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing with the 5 pounds of veal was very, very funny. And the fact that, like, his brothers are in literally Bill Murray's brothers are in every movie he does. And nothing wrong with that. I mean, literally almost all of the Murray brothers were in Scrooge. I didn't realize that. I was like, oh, there's Brian, and then I can't remember the other one's names. The other two. One was on Dharma and Greg, and then the other one, I'm like, oh, that's the other Murray brother.
I love Dharma and Greg. I watched that.
I like that a lot. Too bad, what's his face punched that woman at one point on Criminal Minds. That's how I get kicked off on Criminal Minds. Was it Thomas Gibson?
He just had like that's him. I don't remember. Yeah,
why. He punched an aide, I think. Oh, of course. I mean, I could be wrong, like I was before with another person that I brought up on this show, and I was
he had a serious issue on.
He did. Set. There was a disagreement. There was an
altercation of some kind.
Yeah, there's an altercation. So there's that. I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, I mean, yeah, it was a time.
2021 really went out with like a big fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched a show today I would recommend. It was called Death to 2021.
Yeah, that sounds like an excellent show. I know nothing about it, but I like the sound of it.
They did one for 2020. Also, it's on Netflix. It's funny because it's a recap of the year, and they bring some like celebrities in to play parts.
Oh, nice.
And like Hugh Grant was in it, and he played this really funny, like sort of like high class, like Oxford scholar-esque sort of. But he was like also racist. Oh my God. It was funny, and like racist and white supremacist.
Oh God.
It was very funny. I mean, not that that's fun, but you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And Joe Keery was in it, playing an influencer, and. Yeah, but okay, I know what it was. So I watched the Harry Potter reunion on HBO Max today, and that was delightful. It made me want to go back and read the books. Like, I have to say, for the longest time, and I was a huge Potterhead. Huge. Yeah. I mean, my 3 cats were named, Potter, Weasley, and Hermione. So
yep.
I fell out of love with it. I think it was oversaturation, which is interesting because I never got that way with Star Wars. I've never gotten that way, and it can be seriously oversaturated. Yeah. But I think with the movies, for God's sakes, what was that? It's ABC. ABC family, fucking stop, okay? Like, we don't need that, every like Potter USA, weekend.
Like, there was like Harry Potter weekends for so long.
Yeah. And you're like, you are killing this for me. Like, it really did kill because I was reading the books every year, and I just killed my love of it. And so this kind of rekindled it. And to see how like those 3 actors really did care for each other, and they did, like, because you grew up together. I mean, they spent 10 years together. So, and to see how much, like, at one point Rupert says to Emma, because there's different little vignettes, and he's like, I love you. And you can see that he really does love her. He's like, well, of course, as a friend, but he's like, but he just looks, because she starts to cry, and he starts crying, and he's like, I really do love you, and he's like, you're part of my family, and it was just, that's where I started crying, and to see how like it meant to them, like, and then the people who died, like,
oh God,
since then, like, working with Alan Rickman for 10 years, like, that's pretty cool. So yeah, it was good. I would recommend.
Yeah, I should watch that. I did see that they were doing it.
Yeah.
I think it was like my kid was maybe, I don't know, close to 1 or something. I remember she was like pretty little, and it was one of those Harry Potter weekends, and I was like knitting, and so I was like, you know what? I've already seen all of these. I don't need to pay like critical attention to it. I can knit and do this. So I had it on. I was knitting, and it was the 7th. It must have been the last movie, because Snape's memories were playing. And they fucking broke me. Like, I had not seen them since becoming a mom. Mm-hmm. And so watching them again, like, with a different mindset of that, I was like blubbering watching that. I mean, I definitely cried the first time, right? But like, nothing compared to me crying.
They end on his character and his line. And it is, yeah, they ended on his line, and it's the one you're thinking of. I'm
of course
sure.
It is. Oh, yeah, God.
And it's very beautiful. And I have to say, and like I said earlier to you, it was they show JK, but it's 2019 interview before she fucking lost her mind. And ruined it for a lot of people. Also, that's the other issue I have with the whole thing. I mean, it feels kind of tainted,
right?
But, and really, honestly, they shouldn't have to. I mean, there shouldn't be too much from her, because it's about the movies. It's not about the book. I mean, it is, but it's not. But like, if what they played of her was actually, it was it really about Harry, about finding Daniel Radcliffe and him getting the role, and them, and but it was very, like, they talked to what's his name, Chris Columbus, and they talked to Alfonso Cuarón and David Newell and whatever his name is, Mike, I don't know, whatever, and David Yates, and it was very, very, very sweet. Anywho, yeah.
If you, I struggle sometimes with, because, like, I mean, I also loved Harry Potter. Mm-hmm. I've read the majority of the series to my daughter, like when she was very little. I read the entire thing aloud to her until book 7, and then she wasn't like interested in sitting for it anymore. But if you struggle with it like I do, that's something I always recommend to people, is to just go back and reread the piece that Daniel Radcliffe wrote for the Trevor Project. If you just Google like Daniel Radcliffe, the Trevor Project, it'll probably come up. He specifically talks about J.K. Rowling's views, and he leaves a message to people who may feel that their memories and their feelings toward the series, toward the franchise, have been tarnished. He specifically talks about that, so that always brings me some comfort. Reading through that, because it is so hard to differentiate like this thing that was perhaps a major part of your life. Like if you read it, as you grew up and things like that. Like it's just it's hard. That I got into it late. My mom actually was reading the books before I was, and so when I was in college, I started borrowing her paperbacks, and then I caught up by the time the last book came out. That would have been that was 2007. Because that would have been 2007.
Yeah. No, I was. It was. I mean, I wasn't that much older than. I'm not that much older than. I don't think you and I. You're about the same age as. How old is what Tom Felton's 33, so they're around. I think he and Daniel Radcliffe. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, it was good. It was good.
I'll have to watch it.
Guess what I got right here in my hands?
Oh my God.
Guys, I think Sexy Santa Says did us all in on the window shopping episode. So no drinking. Well, we were drinking, but no drinking.
No drinking game associated with this, or we're going to be drunk real fast.
Yeah, so we're going back to our year of sex cards.
There we go. I like it.
I'm going to pick a card here.
Please do.
Just pick this one.
Can't wait.
Oh, Jesus God. The name.
Oh, God.
Oh, this is only a 1 out of 5.
Oh.
Because it's something that I think is pretty much in every romance novel.
Okay.
Well, not too many. No. It's a no, but kind of. Not missionary, no. It's called Cushion Pushin'. A great position to get things started. Get things started? Okay, if you're sticking your dick in me, I mean, hopefully at that point it's like...
I hope things have already gotten started.
Right? I'd hope that,
Good God.
Prepare the nether regions first. I mean, come on.
Please.
A great position... Going in dry.
That made my vagina hurt just to see her again. Back away.
It's like the Sahara down there. Anyhow. A great position to get things started when you first begin to rip each other's clothes off. Okay, again. Hold on. I mean, I'm going to show you the picture.
Yes,
and maybe...
please do. Really?
Yeah. Yeah. She faces forward on a chair with her legs spread. He kneels and pushes up to penetrate her and continues his thrusts in this manner. In this manner. You know what? Let's change it to a British. Let me do it in a British accent. Maybe that'll make it different.
Maybe that'll make it better.
Yeah. A great position to get things started when you first begin to rip each other's clothes off. She faces forward on a chair with her legs spread. He kneels and pushes up to penetrate her and continues his thrusts in this manner.
Do you think we could get Emma Jackson to read these for us? And send us a soundbite? No, probably not.
No, she'd be like, you perverts, I am not doing that for
perverts.
You perverts. Sorry, Emma. You don't talk like that. I'm sorry, I'm just being a jerk.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so,
fuck you, COVID.
I mean... I think that I'm sure there's been plenty of books. I don't know if in this one they don't.
I mean, there's plenty of like, God. I mean, I'm sure there's like similar positions, but like that one specifically, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this is just coming in from behind,
right?
And really, the only thing that makes it different is like in the picture, the cartoon, they don't have all their clothes off,
right?
Yeah, so I mean, okay,
I don't know.
Okay, then guess what? Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, because they do it like that in there. So done. Yeah,
I'm really excited to read that book.
Every time I talk about it, then I'm like, I need to go back and read it again.
I know. How many times have you read it just because we talk about it on the show? And you're like, no, I need to reread it.
I don't know. I have a problem. Although next month, in a couple months, I'll get to reread number 2. So,
The Viscount Who Loved Me.
Read about Kate.
During my COVID isolation, I was watching the new season of Sex Education, and the woman who plays Kate is on that show. Who plays such a different character. It's really interesting. It's like knowing that that's what I'm going to see her in next, and watching her play like this sort of ditzy kind of. It's interesting. It's different.
I think we'll have to watch too for that is because there is sex in the book. I mean, there was quite a bit of sex in the book. The first book, so it kind of made sense they added sex scenes, obviously, in for this first season of Bridgerton.
Right. Well, they added a lot of Anthony because he didn't have a lot in the first book. Right.
Yeah. And
so they were sort of setting him up.
They were setting him up, yeah, because he's like a philanderer. And, but I don't remember there being that much, but it'll also be interesting because of COVID. I mean, you really can't have those, like, long drawn out sex scenes because they can't you can't that's too much.
It's a lot of like possible breathing in each other's, and they had a lot of COVID shutdowns on that set.
So I'm sure that it will be very tame, if anything.
People are going to be so disappointed.
I mean, I'm okay I don't, it's fine, it's hot, but I'm okay.
I mean, season 1 was like very intense.
Page on page.
How could you not with him?
There's a really funny SNL skit about like an intimacy coordinator on Bridgerton when he hosted. It's funny. I would recommend Pete Davidson and Mikey Day, I think it is, isn't it? I don't know. I can't remember that.
He was really funny on SNL.
He was. He did a good job. I mean, he was no Simu Liu. Simu Liu was fucking hysterical. Oh my god, that fucking Bake Off. I still think of that episode, that sketch, and that fucking barfing cake. but you have to
no
see
David S. Pumpkin though.
Oh my god, David S. Pumpkin. It's part of it.
Any questions?
Many.
Several.
It's part of it. All right, should we talk about the stopover?
Yeah, we probably should.
We should.
You want to take a brief respite?
Yeah, we'll come back in 2 and 2.
Missed you so much. All right, we'll be right back, people.
Okay.
And we're back. With my grandfather clock that I did not stop. It's okay, I'm further away from it now. Anywho.
Oh, do you want to talk? Okay, so tonight we're talking about The Stopover by
T.L. Swan.
Thank you. I couldn't remember the first 2 letters. I was like, E.L. James. That's not it. No.
That's not it.
T.L. Swan.
T.L. Swan. This was actually one of the first ones that I put on our list because TikTok is obsessed with it. Obsessed.
But I'm going to say it right now. Not everything a TikTok is obsessed with is good.
That's true. It's very true.
Yeah. Pasta.
That TikTok pasta. You're never going to forgive anyone for that fucking TikTok.
No, I'm not. No, it cost me $250 fucking dollars. So no.
Fix your garbage disposal. So, I can read the synopsis. First of all, I was a little surprised by the fact that this is like a Zapata-length novel.
Jeez, and guess what? Don't need to be.
It doesn't need to be.
Not need to be.
It does not need to be. No. I would say most Zapata-length novels need to be Zapata-length, but I wouldn't say this one was one of them.
Yeah, Zapata-length.
Okay, so this is the first in a series of 3. I'm actually a little surprised by that because there's a 4th brother, so I would assume that there will be another one.
Which brothers are?
So the first one, there's 4 brothers. The first one is Jameson. Love the name, by the way. The second one is Tristan. Also love that fucking name. The third one is Elliot, but then there's Christopher.
No one gives a fuck about Christopher. No one really gives a fuck about Elliot either. Those 2 were douche novels.
Those 2 were douches. I assume that they will have larger roles in the second book to like bring them into the series, because they don't live
a lot to redeem them because they are huge douches.
They're dicks. But they live in London primarily, not in New York. So like they're a little more removed from the story. I
think Tristan's a stove man baby. I don't think that we.
Because he's so nice.
Yes, yeah. I think that he's. I think that he's a
maybe the milkman's baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah, because he is so much nicer than the rest of them. So much nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually. I will read the next one because I want to read more about Tristan.
Yeah.
Okay, so anywho, this is the first of the Miles High Club book one. It's called The Stopover. Here we go. A memorable night of passion refuses to stay just a memory in this sizzling and scandalous romance from best-selling author T.L. Swan. I was upgraded to first class on a flight from London to New York. The food, champagne, and service were impeccable. The blue-eyed man sitting next to me, even better. He was suave and intelligent. We talked and laughed, and something clicked. Fate took over, and the plane was grounded, and we had an unexpected stopover for the night. With no plans, we made our own. We danced and laughed our way around Boston and had a night of crazy passion that no woman would ever forget. That was 12 months ago, and I haven't heard from him until today. I started a new job, and I met the CEO. You can imagine my surprise to see those naughty blue eyes dance with delight when he saw me across the mahogany desk. But I'm not that carefree girl anymore. My life has changed. I have responsibilities. I just got an email. He wants to see me in his office for a private meeting at 8 a.m. Naughty blue eyes have no place in the workplace. What kind of private meeting does he have in mind? That's like the very beginning of the book. I mean, that's just...
Yeah, I mean...
I will say there is sex in the first chapter. But like...
There is some hot sex in the first chapter.
Very, yeah.
Very hot sex. I'm trying to think of, well, God, I mean, there's embezzling, there's...
there's like a lot, actually.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
like...
competing newspapers.
Yeah, well, because like one of the things becomes, a central plot point is that he asks her to basically like figure out who the mole is, who is selling their stories to a rival paper.
The Gazette,
like, before them. So when they get exclusives on stories, someone is selling them so that someone else gets the exclusive before they do. I guess we should also say he runs a newspaper. Like, I guess
Print is dead, guys, though. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding. No, it's a joke. It's a line from Ghostbusters. Print is dead.
Ridiculous. So, yeah, it's... I mean, there's a lot to it. It just didn't need to be 525 pages.
Wait, is that how long it was?
525 pages.
Okay. Jesus. I'm thinking of the other one I read this week that was 400, and I'm like, this isn't even 400 pages.
That's why I said Zapata length. 500 pages.
That's right. Fuck this.
It
does read fast, guys. It does read fast.
Yeah. It does. And I'm not saying that, like, there were just some things that could have been left out, and it would not have affected the story at all.
No. I mean, there's a whole storyline with a fiance that I was like...
That could have been left out.
And a boyfriend. Could not have had to, Robbie could have just been
he was cut out too. I mean, there was just like no reason for any of that.
Honestly, half the stuff with the friends, like I thought with the whole thing with Molly and her husband, I was like, I don't really care about these people.
That was a lot.
And it goes nowhere. I mean, we don't even know if they get back together. I mean, like, who cares if they get back together or not? Really, honestly,
unless they're getting their own book, like it's kind of, well, what's the point? You know.
I mean, honestly, she could have just had the one friend, Aaron. Yeah. So she when she starts, she ends up working with these two other reporters, Molly and Aaron. And Aaron is, I did like Aaron.
Oh, I actually really loved Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron's kind of like this poor like sap that he's like constantly being cheated on by his boyfriend. I feel so bad. I didn't mean to laugh, but it was like almost comical. It's like, geez, just dump him.
Break up with him. He's a douche.
And but there was always something with him. But I did I liked Aaron, but Molly I could have done without. I mean, I know she's like,
I liked her. I didn't have a problem with her as a character. It was just that like the side story with her was kind of a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
we didn't need all of that with her ex-husband, you know?
No, because it just added to the length of 500 and some odd pages. So yeah,
right.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know how much more.
I don't know. I mean, I think we'll probably get into some of this naturally when we're talking about like our buns and our meat and whatnot. But I don't know. I mean, there's like she ends up, so obviously, like, she's going for an interview in New York. Right. And she ends up interviewing, first of all, when he introduces himself as Jim, which I thought was kind of weird because no one fucking calls him Jim.
No one.
Like, he says to some people, I'm Jim, which is a basic fucking lie because, like, no one calls him Jim. His friends call him Jay. His name is Jameson. So, which is an excellent name. I truly have no problem with that name. It's kind of beautiful. But, like, he introduces himself as Jim, and so she goes to this job interview, and they end up on different flights back to New York. She goes for this job interview, and she ends up interviewing for, like, many times for this job.
Yeah,
she's always 4 or something. 4 to 6. It was a lot. It was many interviews. Yeah. She's always wanted to work for Miles Publishing. She's always wanted that. As a journalist, it was like the cream of the crop for her.
Miles Media.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miles Media. That's what she wanted. And so she had been working, like, an entire year had been trying. She had applied many, many times, but this was the first time that she had gotten multiple interviews. She finally gets this job and goes for, like, it's her first day. She goes for the tour. They give them, like, a tour of the whole fucking building, which is apparently a lot of floors. And when they get
40.
up to 40, when they get up to the 40th floor to introduce her to, they were like, it's a surprise that, like, Mr. Miles is here or whatever. And so, like, they...
Well, because on their flight, he was like, do you want to be part of the Miles High Club?
The Miles High Club. And she was like, I'm pretty sure it's the Mile High Club.
High Club. Yeah. Because they were like, you know, she kind of was sassy on the, like, she
wasn't.
But then, you know, after they watched Magic Mike XXL together, then they, start drinking. And...
Yeah, they had champagne. Lots of it.
But, I mean, I have a lot of questions as to how he did not know if he knew it was her. Not on the plane, but, like, afterwards, like, how did, like, was he surprised when she walked in the door or no?
I think he was surprised because he wouldn't have had anything to do with, like, the hiring of a journalist.
No.
I mean, there would have been hiring managers and department managers. And
which, I mean...
He wouldn't have had anything to do with that.
Which was surprised that, like, she would even meet him.
Right, yeah. Well, and supposedly he wasn't even supposed to be there. But, like, he ended up...
But that's okay, because he's been watching her on camera anyhow. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that gets
what
creepy.
The fuck? Anyhow, okay, we'll get into it, I guess. Yeah.
I guess we'll just get into it.
I keep going again and derailing him.
So anyway, she ends up working for him, and, like, that's just... And this came out, was it 2019? I was looking at it, hang on. Publication date, September 26, 2019.
Yeah, so before the world fell apart.
Okay. Anyway, this will get into my part of my sandwich,
me felt like a little bit was like she was influenced by... This almost feels like the Murdochs. Because, you know, the brothers are part of the media empire. Rupert's sons.
I can see that.
I can see it. I mean, I
don't know. I have an entire theory that we will get to.
I'm so excited. Okay, so let's just get into our pros. God, okay.
Why don't you begin with your top bun, my love?
Okay, so I'm gonna say Tristan because I hate to say it, guys. I don't want to go negative because I did.
The book is not bad.
The book's not bad.
No, it's not.
Didn't give a shit about literally anybody in this book except for Tristan.
Tristan was great.
And Aaron. I mean, Tristan is great. And you're like, at one point I texted you, I go, Emily, just
dump Jay and date Tristan.
Please.
So much better.
Because he calls her M at one point, and I was like, I love you, Tristan. Like and she even says M. Like she's excited that he's calling her M.
Yeah.
You know, M.
Like they've gotten to a place where he's calling her a nickname. You know, and and he does care about her. I mean,
he cares about her quite a bit
through like all of the shit that happens in this book between her and Jay.
Who believes her?
He's the one who's like standing up for her.
Yes.
And is like telling Jay he's being a fucking asshole.
Right. I mean, he's...
And
like,
he also keeps in touch with her.
Yes.
He keeps in touch with her after like shit starts going down between her and Jay. And he checks in on her and is like, hey, is everything okay?
Yeah. Tristan is the best.
Tristan
guys.
is pretty awesome.
He's got really shitty taste in women in this book, but I'm hoping the next book maybe that changes. It sounds like it does.
I think what happens in the next one is that they acquire another company, and it's probably the woman that owns the company that they're buying, because it's called The Takeover. Because
the girl that he's with in this book is she's
awful.
See you next Tuesday. She's a mewling quim. I wanted to use it. I got to use it.
And not in like a good way.
No, in the whiny vagina way. Yes.
At least this time I almost spit water everywhere. At least it was water this time.
Yeah, I mean, he's honestly, like, I was thinking, this should be this hero. Like, he should be the hero of this
Tristan's
book.
way better.
Tristan is amazing. And, like, he just is... He seems like one of those guys. Like, he's written to be one of those men who are, like, super nice. And it's just, like, you know, he's a party guy, but he's not, like, gross about it. Like, the other brothers are gross about it, too. Like, they talk about they're going to go to Vegas. Towards the end of the book, they're going to go to Vegas. And they're just going to go fuck chicks. I'm like... Yeah. Cool, I guess. Like,
cool. How old are you, fucking assholes? You're in your 30s?
They're all in the late 30s. Cool. Like, grow the fuck up. And, you know, I mean, and it seems like Tristan's the only one goddamn doing work in this whole thing, too. And I was like, does anybody else work in this fucking thing? Like, I don't know what Jameson actually does all day.
I don't either. And I think Tristan's like the COO. I forget what his... title is. But he's like, all the four brothers own the company, and they all just, like... do different things. And so Tristan and Jay are in New York, and Elliot and Christopher are in London,
which made me think again of the Murdochs, because they've got subsidiaries all over the globe,
right?
So but Tristan is the fucking best. I mean, he really is.
He really is.
Which, and maybe that was her goal, is to write this character that, like, you really felt for, and that, like, you would invest in. Because Jay is so not likable that you're like, well, but Tristan's so great, so maybe I'll continue with the series because I like this character so well.
Yeah.
So that's my top bun.
Fair. My top bun is a dirty talking heroine, because it's usually the hero that gets all talking dirty. But in chapter fucking 1, man, when they are hooking up, like, in Boston.
Yup.
She's a dirty talker, and she notices immediately that he likes it, and so she just keeps on going.
She does.
And I liked that like, it's different, you know? I mean, it's different than what you are used to in romance novels, but also it's different for, like, her character, because her character is kind of... I mean, we'll talk more about this, but, like, I didn't really like her very much. She's kind of like a flat personality. I just didn't really...
She's a doormat through most of this. It's like...
Yeah.
She's a doormat. I mean, we're open to...
She doesn't end on that note, but, like,
no, but she starts it, because they literally meet because she's in London going to her ex... No, she's going to her friend's wedding. Her ex happens to be there with his new girlfriend that I think he said... Did he cheat on?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Like, that was the person that he had cheated on her with. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
so she's, like, flying across the world to go to this wedding anyway, even knowing he's going to be there with the chick.
Right. And then she's got this, in the intervening year, she's got this boyfriend who lives in his parents' garage.
Or basement,
and doesn't
or
have a job.
Yeah, the garage, right.
And, like, is a football star. She's 25, guys.
Right,
too.
yeah. He was in the NFL or something, and then, like, didn't get a contract. He's just, like... lazy as fuck, and I don't mean that in, like, he's like I don't even mean to say he's like a washed up football player, like that they're not worth anything once they don't have contracts. He's not trying. Like, he's also not trying to get another job. He
specifically says, I like the hookup here. I'm living in my parents' garage. I don't have to pay, like, rent.
Like, why would I go get a job? Like, he's intentionally lazy like this. He's not. It's not like he's trying really hard to get a job and he's just not finding any luck. It's that he intentionally is trying to live like this.
And I kind of wonder if that character, I mean, now I feel like I'm negging this character, like, being so negative, and, like, this is the positive part. But, like, I'm almost wondering about, like, if Emily is, like, finding these guys who are either, like, well, because she's a doormat. So she, like, finds these guys who are going to treat her like garbage. And then she finds this guy who is, like, doesn't treat her like garbage, but doesn't treat her well either.
Right. Still an improvement, I guess. You know?
I guess. Jeez. Anyhow, I'm sorry. I'm stumbling onto your.
No, I mean, there's not that much to talk about. She has good dirty talk.
Do you want to do some quotes?
Oh, sure.
Look for some.
I got past that part. I have to go back. He.
I just read this one part.
It's still hot.
You know what? I'm gonna hold this for my pro. So go on. Go on. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm trying to find a thing that I don't think I'm gonna be too embarrassed to read. He's hot.
I got one. If you go
ahead.
Fucks so good, I murmur around him. The taste of you is gonna make me come.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. Also, there's some praise kink in there. Good girl. Of course, he's just gigantic.
Oh yeah, of course he is.
Yeah,
fucking course he is. Of course he is.
Of course. Yeah. I don't even know if I can possibly read this. I just don't even know that I can read it without just blushing uncontrollably. Not that anyone will see it.
I'm the one who's gonna see it.
Yeah. She says, "God, fill me up," I moan. "Give it to me, I beg. I love how he's losing control. It's making me crazy." And then, as if in some kind of alternate universe, my mouth latches onto his neck and I suck hard as I ride him. He hisses, and as if he's completely losing control, he bucks me off and pulls up and throws me on my back. He lifts my legs over his shoulders and slams in deep, so deep that the air is knocked out of my lungs. I smile. So he likes dirty talk, does he? Well, that just so happens to be my specialty. Game on. It gets dirtier after that.
Yeah, it does. Do you want to keep going?
No, you go ahead.
Oh, good. Okay. I hold his face in my hands. God, you got a beautiful cock. I whisper. Oh. Is it weeping for me, baby? I whisper as I clench around him. I can feel your pulse in it. He gives me a slow, sexy smile as he pumps into me. I'm going to rip this condom off and blow in your dirty mouth in a minute.
But she says, please.
Yeah, she does. Don't look at me like that, I whisper to break the seriousness of the moment, or I'm going to give you another hickey. And she does. She gives him a hickey. It's really funny.
She does.
But I have to say it's very funny because he has to go around the rest of the week with with turtlenecks.
Which plays into my bottom bun. We'll get there. Yeah.
Fuck me. Give me that beautiful cock of yours harder. Fuck, I need it harder. And, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yep.
So do we want to get to the middle part? The meat?
Sure, let's talk about the meat. As if we've not just been talking about meat.
Yeah, I mean, so, again, disclaimer, is this is not a badly written book.
No. I didn't think it was poorly written at all.
No.
This is not a commentary on T.L. Swan's abilities as a writer. Not at all.
I think this is a whole lot of good for you, not for me.
Yeah, I mean, I just... You go ahead with... Do you have a specific thing that you want to talk about? Or do you just want to start spitballing things we didn't like about this book?
Yeah, I mean, we could spitball. My first is fucking Jay's a sociopath.
Yeah,
I mean,
I didn't like him at all.
He's a fucking sociopath. Yeah,
like him at all.
I mean, literally, there's so many times where he's screaming at her, and it says he screamed at her. I'm like, can you not? Can you not scream at her?
Can you not scream though? What's wrong with you?
Could you bring it down? Also, he's drinking at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot. I mean, and he acknowledges that, but I'm like, no. You have a drinking problem, sir.
You have an issue. You need to stop. And at one point, she, dumps out his drink, and he's like, don't fucking dump out my drink.
Yeah, I thought he was going to smack her.
It's in the morning. It is.
Yeah.
You should not be drinking this early in the day.
Yeah,
You're drinking scotch.
You're drinking scotch. Yeah. We goes to pick her at the airport, and he's like, maybe I should get a scotch while I wait. No, I'm going to not drink right now. I'm like, you need to go to AA, sir.
Maybe do dry January. You know, I mean, just like
I'm doing it.
Think about
tonight, tomorrow.
After tonight. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Today doesn't count. Yeah. Today is the first of the year.
It does. Yeah.
It doesn't count.
Yep.
We're all still mourning Betty White. Why couldn't you have taken a shitty
from her 100th
person?
birthday? Weeks from her 100th birthday. Anyhow, yeah, there's Alex Jones is still walking around.
I know there are asshole people still walking around on this planet. But Betty White, that's who 2021 takes. Of course. Fucking assholes.
So there's, I mean, like we could talk more. I mean, there's a lot more. I mean, but he sucks. He fucking sucks.
He does suck.
Guys.
One of the things, like, so why I was asking about when it was published, I'm very much co-signing your meat, okay? One of the things that, this book was published in 2019, okay? Now, you and I have talked a lot about how in order to appreciate art, you have to understand the time in which it was made.
Right.
So while I was reading it, I was like, is this pre-Me Too or post? Because the amount of sexual harassment that happens in his office, the amount of times he grabs her hand and like just puts it on his erect penis. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You are not, like, this is not, I don't care if you guys had a sexual relationship prior to this. Now this woman works for you. And all of this is inappropriate.
This is the power dynamic. Seriously,
yes, like it's just not okay to do that.
Right. Well, so and as a purveyor of historical romances, I could tell you, it's hard. You do have to be like, okay, you have to separate it sometimes and be like, yeah, okay, I get it for the time period, or,
but this was 2019,
right?
Like, and that's why I kept saying, like, well, if it was written like 10 years ago, then maybe it's different. But like, it's frustrating to me because it's such a new book. It's only 2 years old. So having that be like, there wasn't even like a discussion of him saying like, oh, I shouldn't, like his internal monologue.
Watch you on
like
CCTV in my office.
Yeah, I mean, creepy.
I mean, so when we were talking about it and I brought up Sliver, you've not seen Sliver.
I have not, yeah.
Sliver was like, I think it was from the 90s, but it was very hot. It was one of those, Sharon Stone was in it. So it was one of those,
like, hot. Okay.
Well, yeah, but it was based on, like, it was 1993. So she was coming off of,
what's the one where
Basic Instinct.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And so it was like, let's put her in one of these sexual, like, psychological thrillers.
Yeah.
But that's what Billy Baldwin would do. He was like the super, or he owned the apartment complex, and he'd watch all of the tenants on CCTV. And I mean, it doesn't end up well for him in the end. I believe she kills him because he's trying to murder her. Okay. But like he rapes her. Like, not rapes, but it's not. I don't know how consensual. If I remember correctly, because I watched it like later on. I wasn't 13 when I watched it, but
thank God.
Thank God. But it's like one of those, that's what it reminded me of. It was like, it was creepy then. Guess what? It's super fucking creepy
Still
now.
Creepy now. Yeah. It's awkward and like.
But she has no problem with it.
Yeah, I know. Like she doesn't even say like, this is inappropriate. I don't want, like, I work for you now. Like, that's not a thing that she even says. And so fine, maybe.
At no point, none of the characters, any of her friends who know about it say anything.
Right.
That, like, hey, girl.
Like maybe you should, like, I don't know, he's your boss. Like, there's a really.
Aaron should have been like, I don't like him watching me on cameras.
Right. Or like, so for example, we're coming off of window shopping, right? Window shopping where he was adamant about making sure that he was not using his position as one of the higher ups in the company to influence her desire or lack of desire to be with him. Right? And then we roll with like fucking Jameson.
There's no consent here.
Who's like, I'm just going to grab your hand and like put it on my erect penis in my office in the afternoon. Like, I was just like, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm going to force you to move in with me and have no choice in the matter.
He's like pushing in a way that is not sexy, in my opinion.
Yeah. Like he doesn't want her going out with anybody like that's not her friends. Like if Aaron's okay because he's gay.
Right.
Yep. And like it's and there's parts like she does make a huge mistake at one point. I mean, I don't fucking care if you guys read this or not, but she ends up kind of
she makes a mistake, but
in.
then he like really blows it out of proportion.
He does. Well, part of it gets blown out of proportion because
his family gets involved immediately.
Well, because it ends up in the paper.
Oh, right, and it ends up right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
part.
and so, but he doesn't even listen to her.
Right,
but at the same time, like she probably should have been like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lie to you." Like the night she came in, she had the
opportunity to like say something, and she didn't.
Right, and she didn't. So, and that goes to like. Emily's not the best character either. Like, like we said,
she's pretty flawed. She kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Like, and also, but going that like, so that sort of when she makes one goddamn mistake, he and does lie to him. Mm-hmm. He finds out about it like literally within a couple days. Yeah. And again, Tristan's on her side, and it's like she didn't do anything wrong. Like, should she have lied to you? No, but like, she didn't do anything wrong. But then he like breaks up with her, and it's like his excuse for doing so is flimsy at best.
Well, here's the thing, though. He really doesn't break up with her.
No, he does. Sends her home, like,
and says, "I will call you later."
Right. He has his driver take her home instead of to work.
Right, calls her off of work. I was like, fucking what? Mm-hmm. Like, and then, like, she keeps texting him, and then the only time that he actually says we're done is when he's like, I've moved on, something, you should too.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not and like, he won't even talk to her to let her get her side of the story.
Right.
But yes, what is his excuse for breaking up
His excuse is that he's like, I'm not looking for anything serious. I run a business, and that has to be my focus.
Right, after he asked her to move in with him. When was he going to realize this?
Like, what the fuck?
So, like, what other thing could have happened that after she moved in, then he's like, fucking get out, and then doesn't have a place to live.
Right.
Great. Cool guy, cool.
What the fuck? In New York. I mean, it's not exactly like...
Doesn't he also give her a car at that point, too? Isn't he was like, she could use his... Well, she gives it...
Well, they were like probably just riding to work together in his car. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, seriously, like,
and
guys,
the worst part. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was. This guy is going to hit her at some point. I mean, I don't mean, but like has all the hallmarks of at some point he's going to lose control. Something's going to happen because again, media and being in journalism and being in a newspaper, it's not the most lucrative right now.
Right.
So it's like at some point his stock's going to fall again and he's going to lose his shit and he's going to hit her. Like that's just all I could think of. I was like, he's so close to being violent. I don't know. Then also makes me wonder. It's like,
I mean, he does get violent with someone at some point. So
yes, he does. Yes, this fucker gets away with almost attempted attempted
with assault and battery at the very least.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. White privilege. Out
lots
the
of it.
Fucking wazoo.
Lots of it. Like rich white privilege.
Yep.
Lots of it.
Yeah.
But the worst part, truly, like his just. The worst fucking thing he did was convincing her, like, they've broken up. She is depressed as fuck. And he leaves her a note somehow. Like, I forget how this ended up rolling.
He texts her.
Oh, does he text her? Babe, it's okay. You don't have to turn it off. I'm far enough away. It's been going on for an hour and a half.
Hey, Miss Veronica.
Ray says, hi, Mr. Veronica.
Hello.
He texts her and he's like, one more stopover. Meet me at JFK airport or whatever. And so he like convinces her to
I was like, well, at least not going to LaGuardia. Who fucking goes to LaGuardia?
Fucking LaGuardia is the worst. Fuck it. Although JFK, at least they weren't actually going anywhere. Because JFK, I swear to God, not a single flight has ever one time left on time from that airport. Not once.
I will go the hour outside of the city to go to JFK instead of go to LaGuardia. What a fucking hell.
I would go to Newark. Please God, don't fucking make me go to JFK or LaGuardia. I don't want it.
No one goes to Newark unless you're like burying a body.
I will go to Newark just to fly out of Jersey rather than go to JFK or fucking LaGuardia. I would rather die. No, thank you.
Unless you're Tony Soprano, you ain't going to Newark.
God damn it, COVID. Fuck you. Anyway, so he's like, meet me at JFK, and we will, like, one last stopover. No. So they don't even go anywhere. Like, they just meet at the bar, and they have a couple of drinks, and then they go, like, the hotel at the airport.
No, they have 5. She was like, I want 4 drinks. Like, she had a margarita, and then she's like, I want 4 more. I was like, the fuck? Like, do you want to remember this night?
Do you want to be dead? Like, I would die. I mean,
oh my God.
Holy shit.
Although it's airport drinks are probably not as
they're probably
potent.
Right. So they, like, have some drinks together, and then they go to the fucking hotel, spend the night together, and then he just fucking leaves her in the morning and is like, no, I had no intention of getting back together with you.
Right. And again, the excuse is because you're going to get hurt. Well, guess what?
Do you think this made it better? And part of me was like, why did you do it then? Like, why did you go?
Yeah.
Like, it made me mad at Emily.
Well, because she goes into the bathroom, and then she looks, and there's, like, condoms. Like
lots
a whole
of
bunch
condoms.
Lots of condoms. Because when they first start having sex, during the first stopover, they have sex obviously, but they do use condoms, and he makes her put them on. Yeah. But then after that, they stop using condoms
once they're in a relationship, like.
But he literally says. I'm 100%. I believe what she says is like, you thought I was going to trap you in this relationship by getting pregnant, and he was like, he denies it, but I was like, fuck you, you asshole! Like, you're not scoring any points with me on this one.
Because he said something like, better
safe than sorry.
Yeah, better safe than sorry. Better to like cover all my bases or something like that. And she was like, you thought I was going to trap you?
Yeah. That's when we get a really good turn.
That's when we get an excellent turn in Emily's character. Yeah. At that point, Emily begins to redeem herself in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. There was, because I was like, oh my God.
I know.
Even the part where she takes him at one point. She wants to get out of the city. She wants to, because he's getting, like, at one point I texted you and I said, really, honestly, this writer should just write short erotic novels, because all it was fucking and fighting, because they would fuck and then they'd fight and then they'd fuck and then they'd fight. I was like, this is going fucking nowhere.
Right.
And did not have to be 500 pages.
It didn't.
It did not. But like, and so at one point I was like, Jesus Christ, like, so at one point she wants to get him out of the city so that way he can kind of like de-stress. Yeah.
I mean, he has a pretty stressful job.
He does. And I totally understand where he's coming from.
Sure.
So she wants to take him. She wants to take him camping. I was like,
oh my God.
For somebody like if like my significant other was like, I want to have you distressed, I want to go camping, and I'd be like, what kind of camping are we talking about? Because.
Are you talking about car camping where, like, we're
talking about glamping?
Yeah. Like, are we talking about glamping, or are we talking about, like we're going to hike and then stay at a decent hotel?
Yeah.
Because that's my idea of camping.
Yeah, or, like, a cabin with a toilet, because that is
yeah, is there indoor plumbing or not?
Right. Like, you kind of knew, like, yeah, she's trying to take him out of his comfort zone, but I'm like, no, you're still... Also, can we also just talk about, this is a fucking month. This is a month.
Yeah, like, not a lot of time passes.
They are fast. Like, it's very fast. And I was like, y'all need to slow down. Let's just take that and just be like, put the fucking brakes on, because I'm like, you don't know this man. You know nothing. I still don't know I know nothing about Jameson.
Yeah.
I know nothing about the character.
Except that he used to fuck his masseuse.
Which, there's the other thing. Like, he's supposedly still with Claudia.
Right. He's, like, on a break from Claudia, basically, is how that rolls.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we get some chapters or parts of chapters in his perspective.
Right.
But you still don't glean anything. You don't glean any character from it.
Right.
Anyhow.
Jay sucks.
I look defeated. I feel defeated. I feel like this book broke me a little bit. Like, it's not the book. The character broke me because I'm scared about people who are that excited about this book. And I'm like, why?
He sucks.
I'm like, please tell me
at
what I'm not seeing.
At least we see character growth with Emily where she's like unwilling to put up with his bullshit any longer. Seriously, the scene where like at some point he ends up, spoilers abound, by the way, if you haven't figured this out yet.
I mean, whatever.
But like if he shows
also
up
from
at
2019.
Right. He shows up at her apartment with a bouquet of yellow roses, like friendship roses, not like I love you and I'm sorry roses. So he rolls up with yellow roses and she's like, what in the actual fuck is this? And then goes full ass crazy and like rips apart all of the roses, stomps them on the ground, chucks them into the street where like a bus fucking runs them over.
Yes,
and it was just so amazing. So amazing. Like just watching her just lose her shit finally felt good. Like I felt so happy for her and so proud of her that she was finally like, you can't fucking treat me like this anymore. And if you're going to, you don't need to be here. And I don't need you.
And honestly, that should have, you know what? Book end. The end right here.
Or
he gets hit by a car, guys. And
he does get hit by a car.
He's dead. The book's over. I was like, oh, damn it, he's alive.
The thing is, all of that middle bullshit could have been like cut down and gotten rid of, or like they would have had like maybe a big fight about the whole like publication thing and Jake or whatever the fuck his name was. Was his name Jake?
From State Farm. Yep.
Okay, that plays further into my theory, which we will discuss soon. But like,
I'm super excited.
You might not be once you hear me start talking about it. At any rate.
Oh, is it? Okay, it's something I love, isn't it? You're gonna rip it down.
Anywho.
Okay.
But like all of that could have been cut down and like maybe they had a huge fight and then like made up. As opposed to like him being a dick and then doing the second stopover thing and then like breaking her heart again. And then it was a lot. Like make it 50 to 75%, like 50 to 75 pages less. And make it tighter, and then I like it better. Show more of her character development. Show more of her being like, I deserve better than this bullshit.
Well, and give me why yes, I know he's trusted, but give me some of that. Give me some of that.
Give me more than like, I have a company to run. Right. Give me more than that.
Right. I mean, so the other thing I was just thinking about, it hit me. I was like, I'm no spoilers here. I mean, because I think you all know this, but like I'm a huge Reylo shipper. Like I love Rey and Kylo Ren. It's fucked up. It is toxic as fuck because you got a guy who literally killed his father, and you're like, how am I gonna make this work with the heroine?
I don't know. His father maybe sucked. Like I don't know. I mean,
Han Solo doesn't suck. We all know Han Solo.
Oh, Han Solo was his dad. Sorry, I haven't seen any of the movies.
Yeah, Ben Solo. Yeah. Shocker! You haven't seen this movie.
I know. I am surprising everyone right now.
But like everyone who is a Reylo goes, we know this is toxic. But part of me is like, in knowing that about me, I still think this is fucking toxic as shit. Just because, like, well, obviously, that's also in a galaxy far, far away. So, like, but, like, Kylo Ren actually like has a redemption story, and he comes back. It's like I don't see Jameson redeeming himself.
I don't either.
There's no redemption here.
I didn't see any redemption there.
He gets stalkery.
He becomes a stalker, more stalkery than before.
Yeah, like he at one point is like yelling at her, like make a decision, pretty much. Like you have to this weekend to decide what we are. We're like get the fuck out. I'm like, I mean maybe you literally just. Like, because we're talking. I mean, guys, we're talking the whole expanse of like 2 months altogether.
This is not a long time.
Not a long time, and she, again, spoilers bound. She ends up leaving Miles Media.
She turns in a resignation, and he's like, I won't accept this. And she's like, I don't care. I'm leaving.
Yeah, like, and again, not even talking to her about any of the situation.
Right.
Like, none of it. And then he just starts showing up at her apartment. I'm like, you're fucking psycho, dude. You are psycho. So the fact is, like, part of me is trying to put my head around to think of why people like him so much, or why people like this book. I'm like, why? Guys, this guy, like, if this happened to you,
you should be calling the cops. Like,
right? Like, the first morning. Yeah.
Lots of red flags, dude.
Lots of red flags. Yeah. And the fact is, like, that no one in his family's like, so maybe don't do that.
Yeah, so maybe don't stalk your ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, like, at one point he has a conversation with his mom and pretty much, like, kind of divulges what he's been doing. And she's like, well, obviously, you know, she's the one for you. I'm like, whoa.
If that were my son, I'd be like, hi, do we need, I know some good therapists. Maybe you talk to one of them. Yeah,
maybe we just leave her alone for a little while, let her work on her, and then you just work on you.
Yeah,
and then let's first start with the drinking. Let's bring that down a couple notches.
And then maybe you contact her later. Yeah, and try and make amends. Intermediate, you know, like a person in between, like an ombudsman. Yeah. Like maybe bring Tristan, or like Aaron, or literally anyone. Literally anyone. Literally,
possibly a police officer.
Possibly. I mean, I don't see enough redeeming qualities to him aside from the fact that he's rich and hot.
Yeah.
Which to me, not enough redeeming qualities.
No, I mean, Armie Hammer.
Yeah.
He's going to eventually want to eat you.
Creepy as fuck.
Do we need to talk about more happy things about this?
Yeah. Do you have a bottom bun? Before I launch into my theory.
Yeah, okay, so I guess the other thing is, like, and we got into it a little bit, like, this book's fucking hot, though. I mean, when they do have sex, it is fucking hot.
Very hot.
And he's got, his dirty talk is just as dirty as hers is. It's like, God, I mean, and they have sex a lot.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, his tongue is on my clitoris and his fingers are on my G-spot. What the actual hell is going on here? My body begins to quiver like a puppet. His puppet. The man's a god. My legs lift off his shoulders by themselves, and I convulse as a freight train of an orgasm rips through me. I mean, it's fucking... yeah, I mean, it's... Okay, here. This is the first fucking chapter, guys. I mean, actually, it's the second chapter. He smiles broadly as he falls onto his back, pulls me over him, and drags my face to his. You'll fuck me first, he murmurs against my lips, and then I'll fuck you when you're warmed up. I smile at his mouth. I only fuck once, big boy, and then I fall asleep. He gives me a slow, sexy smile. I straddle his large body as our kisses become desperate. His thick cock is up against my stomach, and he holds it in the air and guides my hips down over him. Oh, the burn. He's big. Ow, I whisper. It's okay. Wiggle from side to side.
Right.
But there is a part earlier that I was actually going to, where was it? Where he's actually, like, he's jerking himself off.
Oh, right. Yep.
Oh, he lifts one of his feet onto the bed and really begins to let himself have it. The muscles in his shoulder and arms flex as he jerks himself hard, and my insides ripple in pleasure as I imagine it's me doing it for him. And what I do like is, like, she's very sex positive, and I think it's great. I mean, like, it's at no point is she like, I don't want to do this, and not that, like, but if there's one part of it that I think when they actually have sex, he actually is very considerate when they have sex. Like, it's really, which is a very interesting character turn, because he's not considerate in every other aspect of
life, right?
No, but when the bedroom, when they're having sex, is actually one thing that he's like, I think if something were to happen, if she didn't like it, I think if she said I don't like that, he wouldn't do it.
Right.
So there's that, but it just, that seems almost out of character.
Yeah.
But it is fucking hot, guys. It's
It's
maybe
very
she
hot.
Just writes short erotic novellas.
Again, maybe that's why TikTok is so obsessed with it, which, respect, but, like, again,
go read a erotic
Jay is
novel.
not He ain't it, guys.
No.
There is, one of my favorite literary devices. At one point she says, I glare at him as I imagine punching his stupid handsome face.
I highlighted that.
I love it.
I was going to text you and be like, just got it.
I love it. I love that so much. I get a vision of his head snapping back as I connect it.
That's what,
it's when he's begging.
That's the redemption of Emily.
Yep.
Emily Foster.
Emily Foster,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's parts of it like, so when she leaves, because he doesn't even take her phone number, but then we find out later that he was pretty much stalking her. Like he got her passport photo. He says that later. He's like, she goes, that's why you didn't call me, because my photo, I looked like a mess. And he goes, yeah, you do. I'm like, well, you can go fuck yourself, dude.
Wow,
yeah.
thanks, dude.
But he went and he got her passport photo. He went and he called the airline, figured out who was in the seat next to him, her name, and then, got her passport photo.
I don't remember that shit.
Yeah.
Because, like, okay, we'll get into that, I guess.
So, I mean, it's... guys. I have many questions as to... here, let's see. Oh, here we go. I'll read it to you. Recently I've been thinking... Okay, so this is when they're introducing. They always fall short, even Claudia. I smile and hope blooms in my chest. Recently I've been thinking about her a lot, and I had even contacted the airline and found out her name, which... No, airline's not going to give you their name. Mm-hmm. No. I don't care what, media you are. You had, I whisper? This is news. Run, Emily, run.
Yeah, run,
He
girl.
nods. I got a photocopy of your passport emailed to me just 6 weeks before you started working for us. I planned on contacting you, but with everything going on at work, I hadn't got around to it yet. I had no idea that you were coming to work for Miles Media. So that's when he learns. But I didn't know that.
So it wasn't that far. Like he didn't know that she was going to work for them, but he had just recently found out who she was. Right. Okay.
Right. That explains it then. I smirk. Explains why you never called. I look like a prisoner in that photo. He chuckles. This is true.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and if I was, again, Emily, be like, because he says, I've never been in love before. I'm like, you said you loved Claudia at some point. Fuck off, dude.
Right.
Okay. Give me your theory, baby.
Okay. Here we go.
I'm ready. I'm waiting for it.
All right. Here is my my theory. And I sort of developed this theory as I was reading. And then the more we talked about it, the more it solidified my theory. Okay? Now, so this book came out in 2019, right? As we have discussed. I think, I could be wrong, but I see a lot of parallels between, God, you're going to hate me so much in about 30 seconds. I see a lot of parallels between the Taylor Swift song All Too Well and this book.
Okay. I mean, I have no idea what that is. So that's
I'm going to explain it to you ad nauseum. Okay. So here's the deal.
That's why I'm going to hate it. Is that what? Okay. I got it. I'm not going to hate. Okay. That's fine. Okay.
Okay. So here's the deal. All Too Well is, she's never confirmed it, but like a lot of Swifties believe that the entire Red album, or a significant portion of the Red album, is about Jake Gyllenhaal. Now, there are many theories as to why. She does not discuss who her songs are about, if anything. She'll discuss concepts like, failed relationships or relationships that were doomed to begin with. She'll discuss the concept behind the song, but not the people behind the song. But regardless, people have kind of universally decided that All Too Well is about Jake Gyllenhaal. And some people believe that the reason her breakup with him was so painful for her was because perhaps he was the person she lost her virginity to. Now, Jake Gyllenhaal, there is an age gap between the two of them, a significant age gap. Also,
really?
she was...
How much older?
she was 20 when they started dating, and she was 21 when they stopped dating. He didn't show up to her 21st birthday party, which is another thing in the Red album that he didn't show up. He was, well, he's like, hang on. So let me get the dates.
Because he's not that much older than me, is he?
He's in his 40s now. Hang on. How old is Jake Gyllenhaal, that motherfucker? Okay, so he is 41 now. So he was born in 1980. So he is like basically your age. However, she was born in 1989. So they have a 9-year age gap. And at 19 or at 20, that's a big ass age gap.
Oh, yeah.
20 to 29 is a big fucking deal. They both have December birthdays, which I did not realize. I knew hers was in December, but his apparently December 19th. Okay, so anyway. The biggest sign, like this is what tipped me off to it, was that in the first chapter, maybe the second chapter, when the hickey is a thing, right? So he's leaving and he's like, I have this major fucking hickey on my neck and I have major meetings to attend. Like, I cannot be walking into these meetings with a huge hickey on my neck.
Well, I'm with him on that 100%. I mean, that looks
I'm not
unprofessional as fuck.
Right, it does. Yeah. And he's in his 30s, right? So, like, you look like a man whore now. So she's like, I think I have a scarf in my luggage.
Yeah.
So she gets out this scarf, which is a thing in All Too Well, and a major theme throughout Red, that, like, I left my scarf there at your sister's house, and you've still got it even now, in your drawer even now. He keeps that scarf. Jay keeps the scarf.
I did like that. However, I'd like to have more about that, like him and like he wore it all the time or something. Like.
Yes, or like it still smells like. That's another thing. It's like because it smells like me. You can't get rid of it because it reminds you of innocence and it smells like me. And so, like, again, I'm telling you, the scarf is a thing. He is Jake Gyllenhaal. And, like, she is Taylor Swift, because there is a big enough age gap. The scarf is a thing. He also, there's a huge, like, one of my favorite parts of the song, All Too Well, during the bridge, which is easily one of the best bridges ever fucking written. Fight me. She says...
Not gonna fight you.
Not gonna fight me on it? Good.
No.
So, because you're wrong. So he's...
I'm just gonna keep drinking. Don't worry about it.
Keep drinking. I need to pour some more wine. I will. Hang on. Let me read this. So at some point, this is halfway through the book, he does say, "I'm in love with you, Emily Foster." He leans in and kisses me slowly. His tongue sweeps through my open lips with such emotion that I get a lump in my throat. I can't help it. I tried to stop it, and I couldn't. I think I've loved you since our first night together in Boston.
That's always what you really want to hear too.
I mean, I tried.
Why?
I hated it. I didn't want to do it, but here I am.
Well, again, that's why Elizabeth tells Darcy to go fuck himself,
right.
because she's like I loved you in spite of yourself.
Right.
It's like
exactly like you just insulted me the entire time you were proposing to me. Fuck off into the sunset.
Right.
But he says, you stayed with me. I fought it, and I still couldn't forget you. I've been carrying around your scarf like a lovesick fool for more than a year. I mean, she does find, like, his scarf.
She finds her scarf
in his closet or whatever.
Yeah.
And she knows that it's hers because it has her initials embroidered on it. Mm-hmm. So then another major aspect of All Too Well, in the bridge, she says, and then you call me up again just to break me like a promise, so casually cruel in the name of being honest. And I was like, that's the second stopover. That is when he calls her. That's when he texts her and is like, meet me for a stopover again. Mm-hmm. And just casually is like, no, I didn't mean anything by this. Like, this is just one night together. I am telling you, it is a whirlwind love affair, just like the whole thing around, like, Jake Gyllenhaal. If you look up, like, the whole... this is all very fresh in my mind because the Red Taylor's version was just released. But, like... she, like... They were only together for a couple of months. I mean, it wasn't that long, but, like, they were together a lot during those time periods. And, like, if a major thing, like him taking her virginity, took place during that time, she would be very emotionally attached to him.
Right.
And so him, like, breaking her heart like that would have made a lasting impression and, like, perhaps inspired a shitload of songs on an album.
Yeah, I mean this is not a surprise to me. I mean, like, that makes sense. Maybe she. I mean, I would assume that. What's her name again? TL Swan. Is it TL Swan?
Oh my God, maybe it's Taylor Swift.
Sure,
that would be hysterical.
But maybe she's a Swiftie too, which probably she is. I mean, probably is. I mean, like, it's not a huge. I mean, but that's why there's like tons and tons and tons of like playlists on Spotify or on that are like, for this, this pairing here's, I mean, so it's not a surprise to me. Like, every time I listen to, or if I hear Hosier's To Eden, I think of Good Omens, because
Hosier is so good.
Hosier's very good, but it's like it's pretty much like about you listen to it, you're like, oh, this is of Zero Fallon Crowley, like that's like what but yeah. So no, I'm not mad at that.
So that's my theory. And the thing is, that was like a positive for me. That was like part of, because I'm a Swiftie. And I love that song. That has always been like my favorite Taylor Swift song. And then when she re-released Red, there's always been a thing with her fans that she has teased like that there was a longer version of the song. And the song itself, like the original release, is 5 minutes long. It's a long song for like a pop song, right? But there's always been a thing with her fan base that like there was a longer version that they had cut down for radio, of course, because like who's going to release a long ass song for the radio?
Right.
So when she was re-releasing, she kind of dropped some hints that she was going to release the full original version, and she did. And it is a 10-minute version of All Too Well. And let me tell you, you don't realize it's 10 minutes when you're listening to it. It's that good. Like, that you get through 10 minutes of a song, you're like, how did I just fucking listen through it to like 10-minute song? And if you look up her SNL performance, she did the 10-minute version of All Too Well, and the movie played behind her. They did like a short film of All Too Well with one of the actresses from Stranger Things, the redhead.
Barb?
No, not Barb. The newer one, Sadie.
Oh, okay.
And Dylan O'Brien, I think is his name. Anyway, that played in the background. And even, like, I played it for Mr. Veronica. I was like, you have to watch the performance. And he literally got, like, emotional. He was like, that was a really good performance. Anywho.
No, I actually kind of love that stuff. I love, well, and so, spoiler alert, guys, not spoiler, I read a book that was heavily based on Groundhog Day this week. So, I mean, and I usually love that kind of stuff where you're trying to, like, you find, like, the connections between two pieces of media. I love that stuff. I mean, it's nice. Although, however, I do worry about the author of that book, because I think she might get sued.
There were a lot of the things you told me. I was like, those are really essential plot points.
Right? Like, I'm like, there's intellectual property. I think we talked about that in window shopping too.
Like Ted Lasso.
Yeah. I mean, there's points where you're like, okay, but this seems to me like it's more reference. I really do like that. I mean,
it's more like, nuanced parallels. But there are a lot of parallels.
Yeah, and Jake Gyllenhaal is not one of those, like, I liked him in some things.
He's like, hot, but he's a dick. Like, I mean...
Well, I mean, I'd heard he was gay, so I'm confused. I don't know, whatever.
I mean, maybe he's bisexual.
Who knows? I mean, whatever.
Also fine, whatever. There's a whole entire theory that Taylor
But it's
Swift
also,
is
like, her side, so we don't know his side either, so who knows? I mean, like...
You know what?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Again, I'm never going to know these people, so I don't give a fuck.
Of course. So. But I will say this, in her 10-minute version... hang on, I'm gonna get the actual lyrics because I don't want to fuck it up.
Because we can talk about Justin Timberlake. I mean, wasn't supposedly he the one that Britney Spears lost her virginity to? Supposedly,
right. Yeah.
Although, holy shit, that video she released, I was like, oh girl.
Well, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Okay.
She needs to start using her real voice, though.
It would be nice. This is not the 10.
Her boyfriend's hot, though. Talk about an age gap. Go, you get it, girl.
How old
I guess.
Is he?
He's young. There's a.
Oh, really? Good for her.
I mean, she still looks great. So I mean, who fucking cares? Like,
yeah, she's still gorgeous.
She's
Jesus,
fucking millionaire. So I mean,
good for her.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. It's way down far. Okay. So she says, I was never good at telling jokes, but the punchline goes, I'll get older, but your lovers stay my age.
Sounds like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Exactly. Because also right now, Jake Gyllenhaal, age 41, is dating a 25-year-old. And every single time I hear that line, I'm just like, oh, fuck all of you. Because that happens all the time, that men, break up with women to date younger women. Fuck all of you.
I guess the big punchline of is "Don't Look Up" is, oh, Leonardo DiCaprio has an age-appropriate wife.
You fucking asshole.
Yeah, I mean, did you feel creepy? Could you get it up? And part of me is like, well, I also just came off of, I was literally today watching, there's a spin-off of, not spin-off, it's like a side story of Tiger King. I watched the second season of Tiger King.
We have not finished it because my husband, Mr. Veronica, is like, I want to watch it with you. Oh, no, we've watched the entire first season.
The second season?
There's a second season that we have not finished because Mr. Veronica is like, we have to watch it together. And then I haven't been able to see him for 2 weeks. So,
guys, I like every small zoo. I want to release all of the animals in every tiny zoo out there. Like, it makes my heart hurt. This one is about Doc Antle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, he likes. There's he had many wives because he collects the harems of women, and most of them, his one wife was 14 years old when she married her.
Oh yeah, there's a whole.
Yeah, it's good.
And if you watch the second season, there was an entire where they're talking about Carol. What the fuck is her name? Carol Baskin. Her supposedly missing / maybe dead husband was a child molester.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he did have that girl down in yeah, who was 14 too. Mm-hmm.
Also, why are men? Why are you?
Although I had to say, okay, so if you go, I don't know if anybody listens to my other podcast, but we talked about Black Christmas 2019, and
our other podcast is Booze, Boobs, and Blood.
Thank you.
You should listen to it. It's very.
It's about horror movies.
It is.
So we reviewed Black Christmas 2019, and that was actually we joke about Why Are Men on this. This is like if Why Are Men made a movie and it was like, I hate all fucking men. So it was like a little too much. It was a lot. It was a lot of. It was man hating. Yeah, it was like not. It was hating men to hate men, and you're like, calm the fuck down. Everybody, calm down.
We don't need to come up with reasons to hate men. They write themselves.
Right.
Doesn't take a lot.
Would you recommend this book?
Okay, here's the thing. It's not a bad book.
No.
It's not at all.
I'm gonna say, if you want to yes, I'd recommend to stomach through it to get to Tristan's book.
Yeah, I do think, you know how I feel about reading series in order. The thing, again, I liked Emily's character development. I liked that eventually she grew a pair.
Yeah.
I just didn't like Jay. I just don't think he's a great hero.
Yeah, you and I talked about it. It's like, is he actually a hero? Right. I don't think he is.
I just don't like him.
I do not think he is. But yeah, again, she's a decent writer, so it's like...
Yeah, the quality of the writing is not...
So yeah.
Exactly. I read a lot of crappy novellas in the last couple of weeks. Would this embarrass our moms?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
This will not be one that I give, Ray's mom to read.
Don't give it to Ray's mom. This is not. Veronica's mom, don't read this book.
No.
Unless
Ray's
you're
mom was,
in the middle of a sexual awakening, in which case, good for you, Don't talk
Ray's
to me about
it,
though.
Still hung up on Josh Templeman, so that's fine.
Fair. Did she watch the movie yet?
Right. No, I told her I'd watch it with her before they go south.
Okay, good.
South.
Okay, good. Okay, do you want to talk about eggplants and hearts? Or do you want to do that when we come back from a break?
Let's go back from a break because I want to find out what the noise is in my house that's happening.
Okay, sounds good. Where's Mr. Veronica going?
I see him.
I know, I see him too. What are you doing? Okay, we'll be back for a brief respite.
2 and 2, bitches. Or we'll do it all when we come back. We'll do it all. We'll do it all live. We're doing it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Oh, Bill O'Reilly, you're out there being creepy somewhere.
You are. Unfortunately, Betty White died, but not you.
You're not in jail, you piece of shit. Anywho, 2 and 2. We're back in business. Oh, so every time I think of We're Back, I think of this song from Ghostbusters 2, which you haven't seen, I'm sure. And
wait, what? Say it again?
I said every time I think of We're Back, I think of this song called We're Back from Ghostbusters 2, which I know you haven't seen.
No, I'm pretty sure I've seen all the Ghostbusters movies. It's just probably been a long time.
Well, the song's like, we're back, I mean, like, and that's what goes to my head every time. Well, I finally was like, fuck it. I just listened to the whole Ghostbusters 2 soundtrack on, like, a loop for a day. One day I was like, you know what? This is as good as I remember it as being.
Thank God. I love it when it holds up like that.
Guess what? Afterlife comes out on the 4th. It comes out on Tuesday, bitches. Guess what else comes out on Tuesday? This fucking episode. So you can listen to this episode and then just go watch Paul Rudd, baby Paul Rudd, and
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
I'm super excited. I purchased. I'm a nerd. I have a lot of memorabilia and stuff, and one of them is I bought so AMC has this. They ran out because they didn't realize that people are insane, and they had these. It was the Ecto. So it was the car. They had an Ecto popcorn holder, like a bucket, but it was like the fucking car. It was plastic and shit, and so they ran out of it. But you could buy it. I was like, it will not be available till January. But I will be getting mine in the mail at some point, and I will talk about it. It'll probably be my bright spot. So anyhow.
Very excited. I'm already excited about it.
I'm excited about it. Should we talk about stars and bars? I mean... Kidding. Should we talk about eggplants and hearts?
And hearts we should. I'm very excited. Oh my God. Do you want to start with eggplants? Because, hello, it's fun.
I mean... So I'm going to say 4. It wasn't like... flat out erotica like Sierra Simone. So, but I mean, like,
Jesus God,
right? So I'm gonna say 4.
Okay, so I went with like 3 to 3.5. Like, it is hot as fuck. I mean, it's very hot.
Yeah.
You and I had talked off air a little bit about like there's one sex scene where he literally tells her just to like stay still and clench around him until she comes. Mm-hmm. What the fuck?
Which I was like,
what?
Which I have some questions because
I have a lot of questions, and if you've done that, please message us and tell me.
No, you know what? I'm good. I'm good with not getting that email.
I'll read the email.
But I'm like, at the same time, I'm thinking like that's a lot of work. That's a lot of preparation and a lot of like experience, which I don't know she has, and so I don't know if she. Because it only says that she's only like really. She says I've only had sex with like 3
like
people.
4 people. Yeah, it's like not a large number of people.
Right, which I was like, so I can't imagine that she's got like the Kegel strength that a lot of this implies.
FYI, yarlap.com. Just gonna throw it out there. If you don't know how to do Kegels, Yarlap will help you.
Clark Gregg, call me. It's a long story. It's a private joke, but I knew Veronica would laugh.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, there are so many very hot moments in this book. Very hot.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hearts.
There's no grand gesture. We're talking about a rushed love. I don't see it here. I don't feel it. I don't see it. I didn't get that warm cockle feeling at all in this.
Fair. I mean, he had some moments like before they broke up that made me warm in my cold dead heart. I said 2 because it's not really like it's not a very romantic book. No, it's not. Not in my opinion. Book. It's hot. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it was super romantic. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about stunt casting?
Yes. Yeah, I feel so bad for the person I picked. Because I don't Well, because I don't like Jameson so much. Guys, I was trying to find somebody who I didn't like. Because I mean, it was tough. Let's just say it was tough. I also like that when I pull up your shopping list comes up with a picture of Jason Sudeikis, that one where he's got the palette and he's like biting the. I don't know why that's my shopping list. If there's a store that sells that, I'd like to have it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ray would be your top customer.
Mm-hmm. I mean, how about that picture I sent you earlier of him?
Very nice. Very nice.
Are you Borat all of a sudden? Very nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
My wife.
Oh my God.
Who do you want to start with?
Let's start with what's her face, Emily.
That's perfect. What is her face? Here, I will send you mine because I don't. Usually, I'm like, guys, I'm like super into this. It's my. I love this. This one was just like, I don't even know. Here's this girl who's very gorgeous.
Oh, she is.
She's very pretty. Because all these people I wanted to be like, don't, because you're going to get stalked. So her name is Marie. There's a lot of letters there.
There are a lot of letters. It's definitely Greek.
Yeah, Avgeropoulos.
She's very pretty.
She's very pretty. She's from the 100. I think that's probably the most well-known thing. I look at her IMDb. That's what she's known for. Or she's in 50-50. I don't remember. Well, I saw 50-50 a long time ago.
Yeah, she's very pretty.
She's very gorgeous. Mm-hmm. She was in Tracers with, it looks like, what's that? The Jacob from Twilight. What's his name?
Taylor Lautner.
Yeah. She hasn't been in a lot, but she's really pretty. She's probably around that age. No, she's not that much younger than she was born in 1986, so now I feel real old.
Jeez, she is 1 year younger than me. Fuck.
She is. She's real pretty.
She's 36 years old-ish.
Holy God. Here, I'm going to send you this picture of her. Okay. If they ever make a Fast Times at Ridgemont High remake, she should be in it.
Oh, damn.
God.
Hello.
Damn, you're hot.
You are beautiful.
You are a beautiful specimen, beautiful human.
I'm straight, right?
I'm thinking about changing.
Question it.
Yeah, right?
Jesus.
Well, is she the one? There is a couple, if I think on the 100, if you're looking at like television couples, there's always like those BuzzFeed articles. It's like 100, like 14 best, like either like not couples that aren't together on TV shows.
Right.
There's one. It's like a same sex. There's a girl and a girl, and I wonder if she's one of them. Oh, maybe. I'm looking at the pictures from the 100. I'm like, maybe. My God, she's so pretty.
She's very pretty.
Anyhow, she was on Supernatural. Oh, I remember this episode.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. One episode. Anywho, that's my Emily.
She's very pretty. Oh, yeah, Supernatural. I see it. Damn. Okay. Fucking hell.
Maybe I should watch 100.
Maybe you should.
Damn. Think about it.
Yeah, I mean...
Forget Belleska. What?
What? Oh, so pretty. Jesus. Okay. All right, well, mine is not far off from that.
I'm excited. I mean, that girl made me excited.
Well, obviously. Mm-hmm. Okay, so... What do you think?
That's a girl from... You're pretty.
So, my pick for Emily is... she has a very recognizable face, although I did not remember her name because I was not into the show. But it's Nina Dobrev from The Vampire Diaries.
Can I tell you who I almost picked for what's his face? Was Ian Soul.
Yes, because dark hair and blue eyes, right?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, he was like the first person that came up for me, but I knew we had already chosen him. Mm-hmm.
She's very pretty.
Because
they dated for a while, didn't they?
They did. I think they did, or maybe a different one. Maybe like
it was her and him. I'm pretty sure. Okay. Because he's married now to somebody else.
Probably. She's gorgeous. I mean, like...
She's really pretty.
I would sacrifice maybe any animal to get her hair.
Oh.
Maybe not a cat or a dog. Like a lesser animal. I don't know if that like makes any sense whatsoever. But I want her hair, is what I'm saying.
She's really pretty here. She's fucking gorgeous. I mean, like, yeah. Nina Dobrev, right?
Yes. Yeah, it makes me uncomfortable.
I think this segment should be called "Am I Straight?
Am I straight?
Question mark. Am I 100% straight? Yeah.
Don't
question
know.
Mark.
Don't know.
Holy God! Oh my God! I found a picture that. No, I'm definitely not. Here's the. I'm not 100%. That one maybe question.
Yeah, she's stunning.
You know what's like? It's simplicity on that one because like. That picture, which FYI guys, I don't know how many people are going to tell me you should perch your hair in the it's the big thing to perch your hair in the middle.
Middle part is not
a good look.
I'm not loving it. It's not really a good look on many people.
No, and on her it's not a great look. It's the dress. The dress.
It actually makes her a middle part makes her look like an Olsen sister,
and not Elizabeth. Because we all know how I feel about
not Elizabeth, but maybe an Olsen sister.
Maybe the one that doesn't, fourth tier.
Hang on. I just found another one. Jesus God.
Oh God.
I know, right? Jesus. I mean, what the fuck?
Why are people allowed to be this pretty? It's like,
I don't know.
It's
not fair.
These can't be her eyes. Somebody fucked with this. Somebody fucked with this picture. This cannot be her eyes. Hold on.
The thing is, we have to assume that every single photo is photoshopped as shit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no, those are not her eyes. That's not what they look like. Those are contacts or colored or something.
Has to be.
Yeah, that's not. Nothing about that looks natural.
You want to make out with her at all. That's fine.
Oh, yeah, no. Not at all. Of course not.
All right,
tell me who your Jameson is.
Guys, this was hard. Because I was like, I got to find somebody who's good looking, but who I don't... And the guy that I just picked, and I do like him, so this hurts me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. This hurts me. But, so we know that Jameson he's got a broad chest. I'm assuming he's tall, because that's what all book hair... I mean,
yeah,
I wanted to pick Elijah Wood, but I was like, well, one, I like Elijah Wood, but two, he's like, tiny. Right. So I'm assuming because every hero is tall.
Right.
But he's also a runner. Like, he's an avid runner. So we're assuming that he's got a runner's body. So this is who I picked. Let you look.
Oh.
And
okay.
Right? His name is Tom Paine. He's from, what I know him from is Prodigal Son, with him and Michael Sheen, who I fucking love. But he's super cute. Like, he's not, it hurts me to pick him. It hurts me to pick him. Oh, but that's, Tom Paine. He's got bright blue eyes, dark hair. I mean, like, he's kind of, again, we don't get much of a description, so we're going off of, whatever.
Right. It's like a one-line description that we're going off of.
Right. And if you, oh, God, I'm sorry, I'm looking at this other picture of Tom. Holy God. He has naturally curly hair, FYI. And there it is. God, his eyes are sparkling blue. Like, they're like...
Yes, they're extremely blue.
Someone says they have ocean blue eyes.
That person has ocean blue eyes.
Yeah. He's attractive. He's 39.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
God damn.
Yeah, he's a very attractive. And I would recommend Prodigal Son. He's good on it. He's pleasing American, but he's actually British. So... But so does Michael Sheen. So because Michael Sheen is like, so I don't know if anybody knows that show. It's actually pretty good. Like, his dad was a serial killer. He was a well-renowned psychologist, and then come to find out he had been a serial killer all along.
Well,
and so like he was like FBI would come to him for like profiles of serial killers, and then come to find out he's a serial killer. So the whole thing is like he is like a you actually might like this show. I don't know if you would.
Maybe.
It's Criminal Minds-esque sort of thing, where he goes to his father still for, like, help with cases.
Interesting.
Yeah. Huh. And it's Michael Sheen.
Okay.
That is my...
also another December birthday.
Under duress, that is my Jameson.
Under duress. Understandable. I totally get it.
Yeah.
All right, well, I don't think that my Jameson is going to come as any fucking surprise.
Is it Jake Gyllenhaal?
Did you click on the link?
I did. He is so pretty, though. He is really good.
He's so pretty. I don't even know which one I sent to you first. That one, okay. Yeah, he is super pretty. The thing is, like, Jake Gyllenhaal, for me, falls into, like, the same category as John Mayer, where, like, you just know he's an asshole, but he's so pretty. Like, he's just so attractive that if I were in a position to, like, perhaps lose my virginity to him and get my heart broken 18 times in a row, it would be him. Right?
I just...
Like...
I don't
he's
know.
hot as fuck.
He's hot as fuck. I mean, like... Again, like I said... we're getting one side of the story. I don't mean... There's ones that we can definitely affirm. Like, Armie Hammer definitely said he wanted to eat somebody. Like, yes.
Awkward. Really awkward.
But we don't know anything. I mean, that's one side of the story. We don't know.
Don't we, though?
Because I've also heard that he's a nice guy, so who knows? I mean,
I don't know.
like,
who said he was a nice guy? Maggie Gyllenhaal? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, like, there's, like, you hear lots of people who've talked with him, who, like, servers and things like that, like, people who work in the business, or not even work in the business, who just meet him and are like, he's a nice dude. So I don't know. I mean, like...
I don't know, why can he only date women who were like a decade younger than him?
Well, I don't agree with that, but it's like, at the same time, we're also treating these people like they're like, you know, we put them on pedestals, and at the same time, it's like, they're just regular people. I mean, they're just people.
There's people.
So it's like, they're people who do shitty shit all the time.
Yeah, of course. It's true.
And who knows? I'm going to get hate for this. Who knows if Taylor Swift's a nice person?
I don't know, like, a lot of history would say that Taylor Swift is a nice person. I don't know. I mean, she donated money to Kesha's, like, legal fund when she was trying to sue Dr. Lucas or whatever the fuck his name was. Fine,
but, like, if you're sitting and have a conversation with her, you might not like her. Who knows?
I don't know. I have a friend in the industry who said she's, like, ridiculously sweet.
Well, what's the difference between what I said and what you said?
I don't know. I'll ask him. I'll ask him if he's ever met Jake Gyllenhaal.
I mean, like, seriously, I'm never going to meet these people. I don't care.
Sure. I mean, probably not. Would I, like, maybe cry if I met Taylor Swift? Maybe. It's possible.
Really?
Maybe.
Really?
I don't know. I'll let you know maybe one day. I'll probably be 80.
I mean, she's fine. I mean, I don't have any negativity towards her. I'm just like, but whatever. I mean, I don't think it's nice to... I don't know the whole side of the story. I'm not going to...
Well, none of us ever will.
No. And it's... Guess what? None of my business.
Right. Totally.
None of my business.
Nope. Totally.
Until I start dating Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you start dating Jake Gyllenhaal, I'm going to need all the details. I think you're too old for him. Because he only dates women that are 20 years younger than him.
Bradley Cooper,
Leonardo DiCaprio, like, you know, just generally speaking.
Speaking of Michael Sheen.
I mean, until Amal, George Clooney, you know, like, just generally speaking.
Yeah. I mean, everyone, well, do we know why did Matt Damon get canceled this year?
I forgot. I don't know.
Because his wife, wasn't she a makeup artist? Isn't she like his age?
She's like a normal person. Yeah, I mean, like they seem to have like a normal relationship.
Because I was thinking about that group. Because him and Brad Pitt and all those that were in that, you know, Ocean's 11 group.
No, I think he seemed normal. He's married to like a normal lady.
That's what I thought. They had like a gaggle of kids. But I know
you know who else is like a normal person? Chris Hemsworth.
Oh my God.
Married to like a normal person. And when they were doing
she's an actress and a model too.
Is she? Well, when they were doing Thor, remember like they had to re-record like the final scenes or something of, was it the first or second movie? But they were in Australia and they were looking for like brunette actresses for him to kiss in the final scene because Natalie Portman was not available to reshoot that scene. And he was like, my wife is literally around the corner. Can I just get my wife here? And that's what happened. His wife is in the final scene of Thor.
If you guys don't follow his Instagram, you should, because it's like, it's a whole videos of like either him with his friends who seemed like really wholesome and like cool, and then him or like, I'm not meaning wholesome, but I'm just like, well, yeah, wholesome. Like feels like
it's like gym videos and shit.
Gym videos, or like just him fucking around, but like, and then him hanging out with his kids, and him hanging out with his wife, and she seems very nice.
Also, he's hot.
He's fucking hot. How about that fuck?
I mean, end of story. That's really all we need.
Also, I love Fat Thor. Anywho.
Yeah, Dad Bod Thor? 10 out of 10. It's hysterical.
That is one of my favorite parts of Endgame is Fat Thor.
Is Dad Bod Thor. Yeah.
I was even Dad Bod. That is Fat Thor. He's sitting there whenever they're all playing PlayStation. Oh my god. Anyhow.
So
all
good.
Right, let's talk about, do you have anybody else?
No, that's all I did.
All right, let's talk about things that we've listened to or we've read that we've liked.
Yeah. Do you want me to go first or do you want to start?
Sure, go for it.
Okay. So, currently I am reading, you know how sometimes you pre-order a book and then you totally forget that it existed and then it downloads and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. When you get the email from Amazon or whatever and you're like, your Amazon purchase, and you're like, what the fuck did I buy?
Yeah, like that day that I got it from work. I was like, that's my work email. You won the eBay. I was like, wait, what?
What? Shit. So I really like, and I've recommended plenty of her books. I like Julia Wolf as a writer. She writes a lot about curvy heroines, which is never gets old for me. So anyway, she has. I think I've recommended Built to Fall in the past, and I've recommended Unrequited, and that Unrequited is part of a different series called the Unrequited series. But within that, there's another one. I think Blue is the Color is a different series, and then also off of Built to Fall comes The Seasons Change. So that's a 3-book series. I read the first one. I'm forgetting the name of that one off the top of my head, but that one is the lead singer and her bodyguard. The second one... I
remember you... Yeah.
Yeah, the second one came out, I think, in December. It's called Stone Cold Notes, and it's about Callum, who is the bass player. So I'm maybe 75% of the way through it. There is going to be another one, and it will be Adam's book, which is a long time coming, because this will be there have been 3 books. Built to Fall, the first one, and then both of the Seasons Change books talking about what a fuckboy Adam is, and then he'll probably get his happily ever after.
Fucking Adam.
Yeah, fucking Adam. So anyway, that's Stone Cold Notes is what I'm reading right now. So I'm 3/4 of the way through it. I can't say it's my favorite book from her, but like we've said with this one, it just has more to do with the characters than anything. It's not poorly written or anything. It's just I have a hard time relating to the characters. They're both extraordinarily socially awkward and extremely shy. Tons of social anxiety. But which is not I can relate to the social anxiety part, but to an extreme degree. But I'm still enjoying it. I'm looking forward to... There's some tropes within it that I don't love. But again, Julia Wolf is a great writer. I will never not recommend... She is.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'll never not recommend her books. So that's where I'm 100%. At. Stone Cold Notes.
Nice.
What are you reading?
The name of it.
Yeah, right?
So, I know.
Also, somehow she makes light stalking romantic. So there's that.
Well, we know one book that doesn't make it romantic.
Correct.
What? So we got. So we're part of Book Sirens. Book Sirens. We've not done reviews of their books yet, but we can get arcs through there. And so they sent us an email here are the books that are coming up that you might like. And I picked one from there because I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. And normally, I'm on the fence with paranormal.
Sure.
Romance. This it was kind of because it was steampunk and paranormal.
Okay.
And historical.
Okay.
I was these are kind of I'm enjoying this mixture here.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So the book, so I started with, and I'm saying I started with The Secret Witch of Kriegspeil by S.L. Prater. So it's about this whole world, and I have a problem, guys. This year was the year of the priest king for me.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I already have a priest kink. It's fine. I mean, I'm pretty vocal about it. It's completely fine, which is surprising because I do not like Fleabag, which I thought I would because she literally fucks a priest in that. I was like, that one's not for me. Not for me.
Good for her, not for me. Got it.
Right. But we had Priest that I've read. We had then Midnight Mass that I had a serious option, serious obsession with the priest in Midnight Mass.
Fine.
And then this one, so we have a sect of priests called the Priests of the or the Church of the Cloth, and then we have witches, and we're talking Victorian England, and actually it doesn't even say England. I think it's just wherever. Again, it's a fantasy, so you can put it wherever you want it to be. I imagined England, but and so these priests are allowed to marry. In fact, they have many marriages. Some of them have harems of
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right.
Yeah.
I like it.
And yeah. But the one I read, the first I started with for the arc is she is it's kind of super sad at first because she does not want to be married. She's they call it pairing, and she's completely adamant about being paired. They're witches and they're from the Isle of Lorley, and she goes into her marriage when you come into the story, they're 5 months in, and they've been married for 5 months, and she fucking hates him because it's also epistolary, so you get all these fucking letters between the two of them.
Stone cold notes. Lots of epistolary. They become pen pals. That's how they get to know each other. Yep.
Love it. And she's the whole time is they're writing between each other, and she's like, I really don't want this. And he's like, I totally understand. I don't really want this either. So as they're going along, you read these letters where she's like, can you please let's figure out a way to get out of this. I don't want to be paired. I do not want to be married. And then and you find out obviously they got paired, so something happened.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you why he ended up going through with it, but he goes through it for a reason. He won't tell her why. You kind of guess as to why he did it, but so he's trying to. And we have another hero that's in love with the heroine first, and I fucking love it.
I love that shit.
And he's just one of the best heroes I've read. He's just
I really like
awesome.
The cover. Love the cover.
I do too. I mean, it reminds me of Amy Penza's. Yeah, Amy Penza.
Yeah.
And it's the whole world, and I would love more. The only thing I didn't think about is but I didn't because I was I don't know anything about this world. And there wasn't a lot of world building because I come into the second book. So I was guess what? I gotta go read the first book.
Telling you, it's always the best way.
I went back and read The Wicked Witch.
Okay, great.
And it was fucking great. I mean, it's very much strong heroines trying to be so she's in The Secret Witch, she's the first witch of this university that her husband is the provost of. And she's going through, even though there's some horrible treatment of her, but she's I'm going to be the first girl because it's just going to open the door for more women to be scholars.
Love it.
The first book is about one of the first female teachers, professors there, and how again she does not want to be paired either, and it's just I mean this.
Please let priests get married or have sex.
What's really funny, the two guys that are because both are priests, quote unquote priests in these books, they're it's very much. It's a lot. I mean, I'm going to write a review, obviously, about it, but I just love them so much. I would read. There's a whole other series, and I think it's the prequel to all of this, how. Because at one point I believe that the priests and the witches could not marry, and the first group is the hidden witch, the warrior witch, and the queen witch, and that's the story I think of how it all became they could actually then marry because she falls in love with the priest, and I think that's how it all. But I 100%, I would totally recommend.
All right.
Sorry,
into it.
Went overload there.
No,
but I literally read it in both books in 2 days. So,
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep. Is there anything you're listening to?
The only thing I'm listening to is literally my breath entering and exiting my lungs. Because I am so fucking grateful to be vaccinated. So I didn't literally die of fucking COVID. So,
I'm glad you didn't die of COVID too.
Same. I'm super glad. Please get vaccinated. I literally couldn't hug my child on Christmas Day. Please get vaccinated. I don't know how many other ways I can ask people to think about people other than themselves. But this shit is not a joke.
No.
It's not okay. I am, even though I got COVID, so incredibly grateful to have been vaccinated so that my immune system was prepared. Because I truly believe, and you had said this when you had COVID, like, I am confident that the vaccine is the reason I was not sicker than I was.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Not my friend who I said got COVID. That's literally almost the same day that you got COVID. Right. Her and I felt like this Christmas I felt bad for so bad for both of you, because it was like she also has an elderly parent who's in a rehab where she couldn't go to see him. Neither could anybody in her family, because even though they did not have COVID, you couldn't get a fucking test, because you had to have a test that was negative to be able to go in and see him.
Right, so, but also like rapid tests were so hard to find, and getting a PCR test was. I mean, the receptionist at an Express Care told me to come in to get a PCR test, and when I got there, the doctor was like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Which actually, like, I know the whole thing sucks, but at the same time, where he was like, the home tests are reliable enough.
Right, then that's fine. But like, hey, can you also tell your receptionist that so I didn't come here and like potentially expose a lot of other people?
Yeah, thanks, asshole.
Thanks. Which, like, that's how I found out that the protocol had changed. Like, they're not going to PCR test you if you get a rapid test that's positive. They're just not going to.
There's so much with Omicron they don't even know, so they're like...
Well, and they're just like, if you got a positive test at home, like, they're pretty accurate, so we're just going to assume that that's positive. We're not going to waste a PCR test on you. I'm not kidding. That's basically what the dude said to me. So, like, I am literally so grateful to have not gotten so sick. Like, it was really, I will never be able to express to people how emotionally traumatic this experience has been.
Yeah.
And I will never forgive people who are willingly refusing to get this vaccine. I just won't. I won't be able to. Because not being able to hug my kid on Christmas morning, not being able to enjoy the like unadulterated pure joy that comes from a child on Christmas morning running into your room to wake you up because Santa came. I didn't get that. And I didn't get it not because of anything I had done, but because of things other people had not done. Mm-hmm. And it just like, I would say my worst symptom for the first half of when I had COVID was unadulterated rage. I cannot express to you how fucking painful that was. And how, like, unless you've had to deal with it for as many days as you and I have had to deal with it, and the fallout from it, and the lasting effects from it, we've always taken it seriously, you and I both.
Yep.
But the emotional trauma that I fucking dealt with because of this is not going to go away. That will not go away. When I got to go back, literally the first night, Thursday night, I changed all the sheets on my bed because I had not slept in a bed since before I had been diagnosed with COVID. Because the night before, I was so, like, I didn't feel well, and so I slept on the couch because I was concerned that if I was infected, that I would then get my husband sick. And so Thursday night, like, I washed all the sheets. Like, I made sure that everything on our bed was, like, fucking pristine. And my husband was drawing, like, in the basement. But I went upstairs because I was so tired. Like, God, I cannot explain to you how tired COVID has made me. Mm-hmm. But I went upstairs and I was like, I'm just going to go upstairs and read. and then fall asleep like whenever I get tired. And I went to bed earlier than I have in a long time. But I sat in bed and just wept because I was so grateful to be lying in a bed again, which felt like a goddamn cloud after sleeping on an air mattress that I had to blow up multiple times per day. And to be able to be near people again. Mm-hmm. I just cannot. If you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
And this was the worst Christmas I've ever had. And I didn't do a fucking thing wrong. So I am begging, if you are willingly unvaccinated, I am begging you to reconsider. Please go get vaccinated. Please.
Because 10 to 1, you've already been vaccinated with something else.
Yes. Oh,
10 to 1, you have had a fucking vaccination in your life. So you know it doesn't... I mean, if you're listening to this, you probably have all your mental faculties. Probably. So, I mean, it never affected you. So...
There's a lot of misinformation about this vaccine in particular.
It's not going to make you a fucking chimera or whatever goddamn bullshit's out there. It's just...
I got my initial vaccines in April. You got yours before mine because of the job you had. You were able to access it earlier. We're fine. We're fine. It's not... There's a lot of misinformation out there, and I respect that it's difficult to sift through it sometimes. I totally get that. It's difficult, and it's stressful, and it's really frustrating. But millions of people have been vaccinated, and we're okay.
And we're lucky because there's countries who cannot get it.
We live in a country with massive access.
Yep.
Please get vaccinated. I'm telling you, you won't regret it.
You won't.
The number of people I know...
You're going to save somebody's life. If it's not yours, it's going to be somebody else's.
If it's not your life you've saved another person. Another friend of mine, also fully vaccinated. She didn't think about it at the time, but she, a couple months ago, was very sure she got COVID. Mm-hmm. Because of the effects that have lasted with her. And at the time, she was like, I just figured it was like a cold or like a bad cold or, something like that. But one of her friends... her mom's best friend just was taken off of a ventilator after being on a ventilator for 3 weeks, missed the holidays with her grandkids. I mean,
at this point, I think all of us probably know somebody who has died of this. I know at least 3 people who have died of this. So
please get back. Just please do it. I haven't gotten to spend Christmas with my grandpa since 2019. And we're hoping to next week. But in order to do that, we all need to have...
You have to have your...
We all need to have negative rapid tests. Because he will not... I told my mom, he will not survive this. There's just no way. He just won't. Yep. So, we've always said that we were not going to get political here, but, vaccines are not political. This is not... That has nothing to do with it. Please get vaccinated. It's a matter of public health. It's not just about you. My kid is too young to get vaccinated. I have done literally... we have turned our lives upside down to keep our kids safe. Please, please, please get vaccinated. What are you listening to? Other than the sound of your own breath? Because it's been enjoyable for me.
So, y'all know we love Knowledge Fight on this
God, it's so funny.
We love them so much.
Depressing.
We love Jordan and Dan very, very hard.
We do.
And we hope Jordan comes back from France okay.
Jealous.
And I know, super jealous. So Dan's bright spot, which makes me laugh because we totally stole it from them, before Christmas was listening to the George Lucas talk show. And I was like, what is this?
What?
So it's a... I guess it's like a live streaming. You can do it on YouTube. It's all pretty much all on YouTube. So I looked it up and I'm like, why did I not ever hear of this? And how did it escape my, my knowledge? But it is these 3 guys.
You're fighting for your knowledge?
I am fighting for my knowledge. It's an InfoWar, if you will. But it's these three guys. So it started just as two, and then in the original guy. So it's this guy who I'm trying to find the name of the guy who it's Connor Ratliff, who plays this. He pretends to be George Lucas, and it is amazing. He puts like baby powder in his hair and everything beforehand, to, like, because he's got a beard and he's kind of like heavier set, so he looks like George Lucas. And then Griffin Newman, who is of the Blank Check podcast, which I would recommend. And he was also on The Tick with Peter Serafinowicz.
Yep.
Yeah. And he plays... So in the prequels, there's a character, Watto, which was a horribly bad stereotypical... It's supposed to be... It was a bad stereotype. I'm not going to tell which one, but as soon as you watch it, you're like, oh my god, is this a horrible racist stereotype? And so he plays that character. He's got this fake blue nose that, like, is this big long snout, and he goes by Watto, and he does the voice because it's like, Watto does this and Watto does that. And actually, at one point, he drinks out of a Watto, like, collector's mug. It's amazing. And then they've got like a producer, and that's Patrick Cotner. I don't know him very well, but he's very funny. But they have so for their Christmas episode, they legit had Patton Oswalt. They had Paul F. Tompkins. Oh my God. Yeah, I know. It's like amazing. In one episode I watched, they had their one of their regulars, Jason Mantzoukas.
Stop it.
It was called Sipping the Tea with Jason Mantzoukas. And it's amazing because it's very improv. Like they talk to this guy playing George Lucas like George Lucas. They're like, hey George, what did you think about this? It's very funny. I 100% recommend.
Love.
They're long. Each episode is like about 3 hours long.
Oh jeez.
So it's like our length. It's a Zapata length.
Zapata length, yeah.
Yeah, but it's very funny.
Love it.
So, yep.
I did want to bring up, so as we've discussed in the past, what episode was it that we did Daughter of Rage and Beauty? Was it 15? Hang on.
That sounds right.
Let me get back to our episode archive. Yes, 15. Anchor. Daughter of Rage and Beauty by Amy Penza. It was July 13th was the release date. So, we did that episode, and some of the, as I've said, and as I discussed on the episode, I know Amy Penza, and we both really enjoyed that book. That was like a second read through for me. I had read all of her stuff. But at any rate, some of the things that we discussed on the episode, Amy listened to it, and she was like, I think you're right, or like you're onto something. And so she did a rewrite of that book. I've not read the rewrite yet, but she just released it this past week, I think, like the week after Christmas. She re-released Daughter of Rage and Beauty. It has a new cover that is fucking amazing.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna get the paperback of it. But if you read Daughter of Rage and Beauty, or if you didn't read it because of whatever reason, now might be a good time to give it another gander. Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading like the new version of it.
Honestly, after, when I was reading this by S.L. Prater, I was thinking, it reminded me a little bit of, oh yes, I enjoy.
Do you see the new cover?
This cover.
It is so good.
Do
like I flipped out. She sent me the cover, and I was like, "Holy fucking shit!"
FYI, as we speak right now, I just purchased the paperback.
Yes,
Amy, I love you.
I know. God is so beautiful, and I loved the old cover. Like I didn't have any problem with the old cover, but like.
This one is it's nice. Well, for that whole chapter of sex.
Yep.
Thank you, Amy, for that.
Yep.
Chris Hemsworth. Talking about Chris Hemsworth, that's who I chose for that one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what do we got coming up, baby?
Okay, so what we have coming up, first of all, so this is supposed to wrap up 2021, but of course it was a disaster, so it's kind of kicking off 2022, and that's fine. But the next episode we do, January 11th, we are doing an anniversary show.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. We're going to do like a best of show where we talk about like our favorite books in various categories. We'll talk about like some milestones we hit that we didn't expect to hit, and some of our favorite moments maybe from the show. Oh, I'm so excited. I super excited. Cannot believe this has been going on for an entire year.
I know.
And
the people we've met and the people we've met.
We have really met amazing people doing this.
Yeah.
Like amazing. And then our second episode of January will be an ARC from Melissa Ferguson called Meet Me in the Margins. Mm-hmm. February, we're going to do Black authors because it's Black Heritage Month. We're going to do a Rebecca Witherspoon, right?
I love her on Instagram.
Mm-hmm, totally. Yeah. So we're going to do, what is the name of that book we said we were going to do? If the Boot Fits. Mm-hmm. Rebecca Weatherspoon. Sorry, not Witherspoon. Weatherspoon. So we'll do If the Boot Fits, and then we have not picked another one yet. So if you have a Black author in mind, give us a shout out.
Shoot our way. Yep.
Let us know. We have not picked a second author for February yet, but we will. March, we're going to do The Viscount Who Loved Me.
And that will be our page to screen, too.
It will also be our page to screen. Will be the Netflix second season of Bridgerton. And we have not picked, we're going to do female authors, which is shocking, I know, in March because it's Women's History Month. So we have not picked another one. We'd like to choose a woman of color. We just haven't gotten there yet. So that's pretty much what's coming up.
Yeah. And my brain just went, I had a point and it was just gone.
Zip.
Gone.
Right out of your mind.
Oh, well, it's gone. Gone to the ether. Yep, I don't remember. Because it was going to be something. Yep, it's fine.
Okay, well, should we tell people where they can find us?
They can't. Let me pull that up there and I can tell you. So, they can find us on our website, which is the chickletbookclubpodcast.com, which I just updated yesterday. Hey, Twitter is at Chicklet Podcast. Our TikTok, which oh my God, can we talk about the explosion
fucking TikTok
of your fucking TikTok?
Exploded.
Holy God.
I did a TikTok about like normal everyday phrases that are ruined for me because I read romance novels. And that it has almost 1,000 likes on TikTok. It has almost 6,000 views, which is like by far
1,200
our
likes
most
on Instagram.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's really exploded, which is funny to me.
It's super funny, and guys, if you haven't seen it, please go watch it. It's very funny, and she did such a good job with it.
The thing about the email from my mom with the subject priest is 1,000% accurate. Like, I did not make that shit up. She legitimately emailed me, subject heading priest, and my first thought was like, oh my God, is she asking me if she should read priest? Because no, she should fucking not.
But I love her the comments that are like, I don't understand the priest thing. We're like, we can explain it to you if you'd like.
Don't worry, we can explain. Like,
I'll tell you about it in detail.
Holy fucking shit. I mean, I died. Like, I died.
Yeah.
I legit, I think my heart stopped. I sent it
to Ray's mom. I showed it to Ray's mom this weekend, and she enjoyed the TikTok.
Oh, I'm so glad. My husband, Mr. Veronica, was like, hey, that TikTok really blew up. I was like, dude, I know. Like, we should make it a series at this point. I mean...
Because I would be texting Veronica being like, 701, 800.
I know. And it was just like, it's blowing up again. Like, nothing happened. But, like, it's just blew up at first, again.
And then all of a sudden it exploded again. I was like, out of nowhere. I was like, did something happen? Did some celebrity say something horrible? And all of a sudden this is blowing up again?
Now we're at 1,000. Like, what happened? Oh no!
Holy God.
But thank you to everyone who interacted with that post because it was very fun to make. Basically, we made like a list of the things and there are so many more. So we'll probably make it a series, much like Bookish Confessions. I really enjoyed that one too.
It reminds me of when I was texting with you yesterday about the guy going to the office experience, and there's a whole wall of That's What She Said.
That's What She Said. Mm-hmm.
There's a huge giant mural of That's What She Said.
Perfect.
Pinterest is Chicklit Book Club Podcast. Email is chicklitbookclubpodcast@gmail.com. Instagram is Chicklit Book Club Podcast. YouTube is our fucking YouTube. Which it needs to get updated. It's just a fucking process. Facebook is our Facebook. And Patreon. We have a Patreon, guys. At some point we're gonna have fucking
should come up with tiers.
Levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we haven't. But if you'd like us to support us on this, because I mean it's to being hosted. And I keep saying hosted it costs money, and it's not a huge amount of money, but it's enough. And we go through bandwidth quite a bit, and we like in memory, especially with like Google and stuff like that, we do go through bandwidth pretty quickly.
We did get another rating.
We did.
No review, but we did get another rating. I don't know, since the last time I looked.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, if you want to rate and review us, I still fucking the magnets.
Yeah, we still have magnets. If you would, if you rate us and review us on the Apple Podcast app, we will send you a magnet. All you have to do is screenshot your review and send it to chicklitbookclubpodcast@gmail.com with an address where we should send the magnet and which magnet you would like. There, you can find the options on Instagram. There is like a wine-colored background, and there is like a purplish blue background that you can choose. I have one on my car.
I'm going to get off my duff. I'm going to, make us a TeePublic site at some point.
That'd be
fun.
At some
point, we're going to.
If you look at our Instagram photos from tonight, I am currently wearing a photo from a shirt that my husband designed.
Also, if you have not gone to our Instagram and seen the one that Miss Veronica made about the Browns, please do.
Oh, I'm going to make a TikTok about it tomorrow because I'm going to wear it because the Browns are playing. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know what to think about sports. The sports ball. Anyhow.
Sports ball.
Sports ball. Lovely. My lovely co-host, who I love very much. How do we end this thing?
Oh, God. Just in the most obnoxious way possible.
Not safe light repair, safe light replace.
Safe light repair, safe light replace.
Safe light replace.
Sponsor us.
Also, Adam and Eve, please sponsor us. Who was the other person that we've added on there? Hey, you know what? Jake from Steak Farm. Sponsor us.
Oh my God. Oh, fuck you, COVID. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
When I don't have the lung capacity
anymore after God.
Fuck you, COVID.
In your fucking face.
Your goddamn spike protein face.